We're back.
The penultimate. Episode 9. We made it.
Did we though?
Somehow. I know.
I don't feel like we made it.
No.
I feel like we dragged our butts across the finish line here.
Yeah, it was a struggle to get here. But we're here.
Jeez. Yeah, so this episode is called But I Don't Even Have a Dress, written by...
And neither of us wore dresses because...
Yeah. I mean, I could have, but I was too lazy. So that would require changing.
Then we'd have to change the title to Only Brie Has a Dress.
Yes, and we're not going to do that.
We're not doing that.
Not today, Satan.
No.
Written by Brian Studler and Jeff Patinode. We're not sure, but it's a node.
Pantalones.
Huh?
What?
Pantalones.
Oh.
Pantalones?
Pantalones. Patinode. That's what we'll go with. Sure. Directed by David Frazee again. And we're going to start out in an army tent that has remarkably good, actual lighting in it. Like a real fluorescent lighting thing. I'm like, how long did they take to put this up so Petra and the unit could stand in there? But anyway, as you would expect, Rayla are standing together and Abigail standing at ease, like she's actually in formation or talking to a superior officer, which she is technically. Tally's sitting on a table because it's Tally and she's chilling. And Petra's proud of them for knowing when to withdraw because this is the hardest decision a leader has to make. And I'm like, when is Abigail? I'm sorry. I love her. When has Abigail been the actual leader this season?
That's what I'm saying.
Not.
No. I guess because she gave one speech to the army and maybe it got back to Petra and she's like, my daughter's been in charge this whole time because she hasn't seen the session stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
She's been lost this whole time. Let's be real. I think Abigail would agree.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Silver's troops are about to come and take him into custody, but Petra made sure there's a shit ton of media coverage there to keep them accountable so they can't just kill them and say that they resisted.
Yeah.
And then Petra is like, yeah, still looking for Wade, Silver Bullet. Just haven't found her yet. Still looking. It's pretty much the whole thing. Unit's properly concerned about being in Camarilla hands, as one would.
Yep. So things are moving.
Mm-hmm.
They were officially captured. And we're still on the search for our golden ticket, President Wade, who's going to fix everything. So what happened to Wade? Well, we find out in the next scene, finally, what's been going on with Wade. So we cut to the most winter place in the whole session. It's like this cabin covered in snow. There's a truck wrapped around a tree and there's blood leading up to the cabin. And inside the cabin is Wade, and the marshal. And the marshal looks not great, on the brink of death. And we find out they're all trapped in this cabin. And M reveals to Wade, who is waking up, groaning, like she's in pain. And M's like, listen, here's what happened. The marshal was driving the getaway car, the one we saw wrapped around the tree. And when the Iroquois Ranger got killed, he aged immediately, lost control of the car, and then it crashed into the tree. So confirming that it's kind of like the biddy magic that we saw with Alder, back in season 1. The minute one of the biddies get taken out, Alder would age whatever number of years that biddy had on her. And the marshal's probably been around a lot longer. So who knows how many years one of his rangers is carrying. So that's not great to lose that all at once while operating a motor vehicle. So it didn't end well. And end result was they were wrapped around that tree. They sought out refuge in the cabin, and they're now snowed into it because winter's happening. And Wade's like, well, did you call for help and send an SOS? And M's like, no, I didn't do anything. My job was to protect you, and I couldn't leave you. So M, like, true to themselves, like, didn't break their oath to, like, guard the president no matter what. So because of that, nobody knows their location. This is why where's Wade? It's like, where's Waldo of this universe? No one can fucking find them because they're trapped in this cabin and no one knows where they are. So it doesn't look great. And then Wade's like, cool, all of that was terrible you just told me. Do you have any good news? And Em's like, we have like 1 day left of firewood. So like we got 1 more day out of this. So danger. And that's what they've been doing.
Yeah. What they've been doing off screen, if you will. Poor Wade looks like she really did take a hit to the face there.
Yeah, like she was probably in the front seat when the car smashed headfirst into a tree.
I just feel like it only made her sassier. Yeah, like couldn't it?
Why
I
were-
know they're
Are we
only
not
taught a
witches?
certain amount of fixer.
I guess that was a
but
war college sergeant or a
Yeah.
leader or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
sergeant. Whatever. Okay, sure.
Whatever. Sure.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that happened.
That happened.
Here we go. I guess we'll move along to the unit again, who are in jail. Tally's being brought back after her interrogation. She's obviously in pain and holding her abdomen or just right around her ribs area. So they've been beating the crap out of them where it can't be seen. That was my first thought when I saw the trailer for this, and turns out it's true. So Rayla's being cute because
they can.
Scylla's comforting Rael as they sit in the jail cell. It's just cute. Caitlin wants to add that Tally's always cute because she added to my notes. So because it's chaos here at the podcast. It's chaos today. They're talking about, so basically they asked them about Petra's plan, Alder's return, where Rael was when she had disappeared, and they asked them about the first song. So they're asking them all the same questions and, giving them a good beating in the ribs / abdomen to get information because they're dumb and don't have any other methods.
Just men using their fists.
Exactly.
Because interrogation works so well all the time, always.
Right? It gives you accurate information.
Always.
Abigail points out that they're not leaving any visible marks, so they're either doing that for a trial and then Scylla says, so like a trial, public trial. Mm-hmm. And then Abigail's like, or a public execution. And then Scylla's like, nah, bitch, I gotta get married. So she's all like in her feels about that. And she and Rael share this look about it, but Tally, being Tally, picks that up real fast, even though she's sitting there in pain, because Tally wants to focus on the positive always. And so she's like, what, you two, I see you. And so Rael tells them that they were supposed to get married. And then everybody's cute and also sad at the same time, which is the theme of this show, besides being tortured.
Which is all happening in this one scene, so it is.
Here you go.
There you go.
Scylla says that they wanted to ask Adil and Abigail to join them in getting married since those two have been talking about it. But Abigail says they're waiting for Kalita to get back, obviously because family. Then Tally tells everyone they can't give up hope in true Tally fashion because it's Tally. Mm-hmm. And then some guards come and throw dress uniforms into the cell and tell them to put them on. So they're about to find out.
Yeah. So pretty fucked up that, like, it just goes to show you, like, they're strategic, the Camarilla, with what they're doing. They're not, like, above, like, going low, you know what I mean? Strategy-wise, but they're smart enough to be like, well, we can't make it visible because the public will see, and like public's what matters in a democracy, right? So but they're like, here, put on your fancy uniforms. It covers all your bruises. It's fucked up.
Like, it's super fucked up, and also exactly what I expected.
Yeah, it's smart. It's just like sinister,
It's like puke worthy.
for sure.
Smart. Unfortunately, I'm sorry that you got this scene.
I mean, it is what it is. So, speaking of gross stuff, meanwhile,
I love you.
the Laura Neal squad is fucking up the justice system in the courthouse. And like we've been saying this whole time, like part of the strategy of like taking over is basically the Camarilla, since we've been introduced to the concept of them, we've seen them slowly over the course of 3 seasons take over the government, like very slowly. Like they had the police department during, that protest we saw, like they have judges, like, and we're seeing all that come to fruition like in this scene. So here we have the judge, the prosecutor, all the people who are going to be involved in the trial in the rooms with the heads of the Camarilla that are in high government positions. And they're basically dictating to them, hey, you're in our pocket. This is how this is going to go. So, like, the trial is actually a spectacle. That's why they're like making them look pretty and like all that kind of stuff. This is a spectacle because they're like, we have all the power. We just need to do this as a formality kind of thing and like show the public and get them on our side, is basically what this is. So, this has been their playbook the whole time. So, what Silver did to make this trial a little bit different is he banned all spectators. Like, no jury is going to be present like in a normal trial. In America, you'd have like a jury of peers or whatever randomly selected that like hear the case and then decide what happens. He's like, we're not doing that. Instead, like, I'm just going to film it. And the American public's going to be the jury, basically. So the press is going to be there because this way we can control this narrative, because that's what fascism is. It's just controlling the narrative. It's how you tell the story, not the truth of it. And Kara laments at this point, well, like, we have to do this because not everyone out there understands the danger that witches pose. There's still sympathizers. And if there's sympathizers, we can't take over. So our job here is just to convince the American people that witches are actually dangerous. We have to stoke fear because people do irrational shit and want to get violent when they're afraid. Does this not sound like America right now? Because this is what's happening in America right now. Just make them afraid and then they'll like jump and like not think about what they're doing. So that's the goal.
The Republican agenda.
Yeah, it's just fascism. This is what they're doing. It's the same thing. It's just gay people, trans people, minorities, just witches in this world encompasses all of that. And so the goal of this trial, it's not to win, because they're going to win because they own the justice system. That's what they're like. Our goal is to put on a show and convince the American people to comply with our agenda because they're afraid of witches, is basically what this is. So, and they have to do this very carefully because, again, they don't want to make martyrs out of this. Because remember when Nikta was on trial, Nikta's like, yeah, I'm going to get killed, whatever. I'm going to be seen as a martyr to my sympathizers, and they're going to mobilize and keep fighting. So the goal here is to suppress witch sympathy in the community so there isn't a counter movement against the Camarilla that's like for the witches. They have to demonize them by letting the witches tell their story, admit to their crimes, tell with their own mouths they're dangerous, and then the people will be like, yeah, kill them. Like, I'm not sympathizing at all. And that's it.
That's all the grossness that they could fit into that scene without it exploding with putrid. I only have one thing to add, and that's fuck them. And also, I'm gonna, as I do every episode, repeat Scylla's line, "This is America."
Literally.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we're being transported with the unit, and they're all chained up like the prisoners they are. I have one note on the wardrobe here. Ooh, if you notice when they're getting out of the prison transport, the sashes that they have on their dress uniforms, the unit, Abigail, Tally, and Rael all have a bunch of pins and badges on their sashes, which is, if we remember General Alders and all the other officers and soldiers we've seen in dress uniform, if they've seen service and have been in combat, etc., they've earned these pins and badges and things.
Okay.
So it's like the ribbons and medals on our version of the Army uniform.
Oh, very cool.
But my note on it is that though the unit has them, Scylla does not. There's nothing on Scylla's sash.
Yeah, I mean, she was never
Telling
in
you
combat.
that. Exactly. I just thought that it was nice that they stuck to continuity there with the wardrobe.
Yeah.
So good job.
Yeah.
Because they could have easily put them on there just to make her look
Cool or
like
whatever.
either look cool or make you, because they like to do things, since they're now a unit in themselves. Scylla's like a part of this. They could have put them on there, made sure they did that just to make her be one of them. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But they went the continuity route instead. So I don't know whose choice that was. Maybe we'll find out at a future time. Like,
maybe.
But
Tomorrow.
All right, tomorrow. Anyway.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow. You guys will find out another day when we release the episode.
Yeah, exactly.
About a month and a half from now.
Yeah.
About 3 years from now. Anyway. So they're chained just like any prisoner that's going to court, with their shackles on the wrists and legs that are connected. They are led inside into one of those reflective cages that would reflect the work back if they tried any, except for the back part. That doesn't have that like reflective surface like the other parts, I guess.
Are they like mass producing these cages? Like, how did they get these things built so quickly? I don't know.
It's a good question. Or they've just been planning it for so long that they just had it all ready to go and just put them up like a barn raisin.
Yeah.
But probably. A really evil one.
They got a bunch of money, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Not to mention, they have collars on, so they couldn't do work anyway. Whatever. But they have the locking collars on, so it's not like they could get them off.
Again, whatever. That's a formality too, because at that point, all the witches in the country are forced to wear them. So
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know that anyone knows they lock, but the red collars are everywhere, like the Jewish stars and all that stuff.
Yes, and I think it's also all of this security is also to instill fear, basically.
Yeah, I don't think the collar is a fear thing, or is a security thing. I think it's a fear thing, because at this point people are conditioned to be like, red collar, be afraid. So then they see them in uniform, red collar, be afraid. That's the association. I don't know that people know what the container they are in does.
But it does look kind of scary.
But it looks intimidating. Yeah, exactly. The whole thing it's a show. This is all a show.
It is. It's a show and a sham.
Narrative. Yeah.
But they do have that one of those little grates where you can talk and hear.
That's so degrading.
It really is. It sucks. It makes me feel like, it obviously gives the impression that they're animals. So.
Which again,
it reminds Caitlin of a hamster cage.
Dehumanize them.
Yes. Yeah. It reminds you of a hamster cage because it's an animal cage. That's why, Caitlin.
Thank you, Caitlin.
The courtroom is smaller and it's full of Camarilla and press. Those are the only people there besides the unit, or the core 4. I'm just going to say the core 4 from now on, because there you go.
For it.
That includes Scylla. So the prosecutor steps up and starts her little opening statement, which is, as we knew, was going to be 7 layers of bullshit. Their crimes are too numerous to list, but she'll give it a shot. Can I give her a shot of sedative so she'll stop talking? Please.
Yeah, please.
So basically, it's killing Penelope, assassination of Wade, deaths of civilian hostages, aiding and abetting terrorists. Are they talking about the spree or are they talking about Scylla? Who the fuck knows? Because they name Nicta next in the crimes. Yeah, exactly. Destruction of property, both in the session and the U.S. And Caitlin adds being hot, cute, and adorable. That is a crime.
Well, it's a crime Nicta's not there because she'd be doing the same thing. Caitlin. It's a crime. There's a lot of crimes happening in this episode, Caitlin.
So many crimes.
Most egregious one yet. We'll get there. I meant to start this episode with a eulogy, but we jumped right into the episode. So maybe later.
You can eulogize when we get to the wedding.
I mean, sure, why not?
All right, so that's pretty much it. It's a bunch of bullshit just for show. Gonna scare the American public into thinking witches are evil and we need to kill them all.
Yep, that's basically it. So, meanwhile, in the Necro Lab, Izadora is debriefing with Petra and Sterling about the Penelope situation, who at this moment is in her little cell with her mitts on, like rocking back and forth. Like, clearly she's not okay. The kids are not all right in the Necro Lab. And Petra's there because she's probably like, can we get her out and visible to, again, unravel the silver stuff and have her tell her story? Because that'd be great. But Penelope's not okay. So Petra concedes, all right, she's not ready to leave her cell. So bringing her out would probably do more harm than good because she's still like evil and stuff. And then she's like, okay, what about Anacostia? Because Anacostia is tasked with finding Wade, and that's the other piece that could unravel all of this. And Sterling reveals it's been 2 days since he's heard from Anacostia. So it's not looking great. And we get a damn from Petra. Because there's no Wade, can't tote out Penelope. It looks like the unit really does have to go, or the COFOR or whatever, really does have to go through this trial, and they don't have any way to help them, basically. So it's like helplessness for Petra and not looking great.
Poor Petra. She's just, the knocks keep coming for her right now. It's okay. It's okay, Petra. We got you, boo. It's coming. Help is on the way.
It's coming. Something's coming.
So back to the sham. Prosecutors now questioning Tally about her right of proxy intervention at Nicta's trial. Because, you know, it's Nicta and she's the head of the spree. So, of course, she's the super duper. If there's any like super duper boogeyman for the Camarilla, it would be Nicta Batan.
Yeah.
So
exactly. That's why
the fact exactly. So the fact that Tally helped Nicta and their narrative is that she helped her escape because lies.
And what did Nicta do? Nicta killed a bunch of non-witches. So it's like, wow, you helped get more of us killed. I have no sympathy for you. That's what this is.
Exactly. It's not, this isn't questioning in the traditional sense that you would have during a trial. This is the prosecutor telling a story by asking questions and interrupting anytime the person that they've asked the question to tries to speak. So they tell the story for them. And there's no objections. There's nothing like that. Because it's not that kind of trial, Caitlin. It's the sham trial. And I'm not talking about ShamWow. So if anyone remembers that infomercial, I'm getting off track. Let's go back. Caitlin wants to add, because Tally doesn't believe in the death penalty. I don't know. We'll ask Jess that question.
Fuck
But,
you, Caitlin, for putting that in the chat. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
God, why would you do that? We need her. Come
That was my
back.
plan all along. I'm taking over.
God damn it, Caitlin.
You
Theodora, come back.
But it's funny because now everybody else doesn't know what happened.
No, they don't, because they can't see the chat. All right.
Whose name you beseeched?
Well, they're going to think it's Nicta because you're a Nicta stan, but it's not.
She's not even in the ground yet, Caitlin.
Now you know. All right, so basically, Tally doesn't actually get to talk or tell her story because that prosecution bitch keeps talking over her and telling the story herself the way she wants it to be told, or the Camarilla does, and says that Tally set Nicta free. That's dumb. They're being railroaded and not in the good way, says Caitlin. I think what you mean is they're being railed and not in the good way.
Caitlin, you redeemed yourself with that comment.
Yeah, you have.
That was good.
I just saw the next.
This is what happens when Caitlin randomly inserts her thoughts into your notes without you knowing.
I went for it tonight.
I'll reveal once we get there.
I don't know how I'm going to edit this because I'm going to have to cut myself out.
Don't cut yourself out. Just leave yourself in.
Just saying.
All right, that's pretty much the end of that scene. Onward.
Wait, what did Caitlin's note say?
No, it's for the next scene.
Okay. Thank God. All right.
Onward to glory.
Oh dear. Which still haven't seen Glory.
Where the fuck's Glory?
I love her.
Pissed me off. Whatever. Anyway, speaking of people losing their shit, meanwhile in the Cave of Wonders.
Okay, so I put in my notes, because you said Alder singing in the Cave of Wonders, and I put in parentheses, dirty.
I mean, it may be fan fiction, but in the actual show, Alder is losing her sanity because she's trapped with the frozen witch in the cave.
Elsa.
And she's basically just like talking to all these dead bodies, essentially, in the frozen witch. And it's like, bitch, how did you do this for like hundreds of years? Like, it's been 2 days max and I'm losing my shit. And she's like, decides at the end of it to be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna sing for you, whether you guys like it or not, because you're all dead. And be aware that this song might bring the mountains down on our heads. Any objections, dead guys? Stares at dead people and is like, let's do this. And then Alder sings her Cave of Wonders song, and it's a beautiful song. And she slowly rises as she's like doing this and holds the sword. So the sword's back, guys. So another Alder holding a sword sighting. And she's just majestically singing, holding the sword as the mountain is literally crumbling down on her. And that's the scene.
Caitlin's notes are, after you said Alder singing in the Cave of Wonders, she says she's practicing for Tally. And then under that, too dirty? Question mark?
Never.
That's what made me laugh. And then she also says it's like the dude with the balls with faces from Castaway.
Oh, Wilson.
Yeah.
Wilson was more sympathetic than the bigots frozen
Yeah.
in the ice cave. They deserved their tomb. Wilson didn't deserve that shit. He was a good friend. Volleyball.
Why are you... Anyway. Yes. That scene really amused me, and I love Lynn for playing it that way. I love her in general, but
Yes,
that scene was cute. I loved it.
it was.
I love that we got to see her be a little more human.
Yeah.
All right. So onward. More bullshit from the prosecution over at the trial. Abigail mutters in the middle of her interrogation / the prosecutor telling her story for her in the way that she wants, that this is bullshit, and everyone's shocked because that's not what you do. It's like someone wearing a black to Wimbledon or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But then Abigail starts telling the actual truth, which is that Silver's Camarilla, all this is bullshit, the bigots are taking over, fascism, etc., etc. But the prosecution moves to strike because she's not supposed to actually tell the truth. And then Abigail asks the judge if one of them can speak without being cut off. And then the judge looks at Silver, who nods and is like, I want to see what they're going to say. The judge says that one of them can make a brief statement, and the unit picks Raelle because who gives better, like, little impassioned speeches than Raelle Collar? And also, she has a civilian father, so they're like, it's you, Beach, you're up.
She's the only one that can actually draw sympathy from the majority of the people watching this. So she strategically was the best person to pick from that perspective.
Yep, exactly. Also, she cries really pretty. So here we go. Raelle's gonna give a badass speech, even if she doesn't think so. So she tells everyone that Wade's still alive and this trial is being used to persecute all witches, which is true. And then she goes into her speech in which she says her mom was military, her dad was civilian, and I didn't want to fight. I despised the military because I knew I would end up dying just like my mother, fighting to protect people who hated me just for existing. But I said the words, and despite all my expectations, my feelings changed. I know most of you probably didn't grow up around the military or witches, but we're no different than you. We're your daughters, we're your sons, we're your neighbors, we're your friends. If you think our actions deserve punishment, then so be it. But do not let them use this trial to take us back to the burning times.
Nope. This is not what the Camarilla wanted that bitch to say.
No, it is not what they wanted to be heard out in the cult room. Because Silver is like, no. Because Raelle gives a good speech and is like, yeah, let's not go back to the burning times. It just brings me back to season 1 when she and Scylla were walking through the Museum of Horrors when the creepy X was in the corner. So the judge yeah, seriously. But pre-killing the X. I still want to know what Scylla's viewpoint is on that. I mean, Raelle's. God damn it. They never talked about it. They
never talked about anything. We got nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. But I do like, there's a couple of like parallels to like the earlier episodes in this episode, which I enjoyed. This was one of them.
I really dug that too. Like, me too. So the judge puts a stop to Raelle's speech at Silver's direction because people are actually starting to listen and hear Raelle. Like, you could see when the camera panned out to the crowd that the people in the press were kind of like, oh, interesting.
Because they ain't all on the payroll. Only one of them is Fox News. The other ones are regular news. And they're like,
exactly. You've got,
makes a lot of sense. Of what?
You got Cheddar News in there. You got MSNBC. You know, I'm sure Al Jazeera's there. So, yeah. The judge is like, yeah, we're going to stop today's proceedings and take the prisoners away. But before they can leave, guess what? The doors to the courtroom open, and Petra, Sterling, Jarrett, Kelly, Anacostia, and M, Kelly being President Wade, bust up in the place, and the Senor Bigot tells them to cut the cameras because he's a weak ass bitch who's about to get told. So he tries pleading with Jarrett, but Sterling, who is actually Jarrett, says this is for Penelope as he passes. And Silver tries to say that they're imposters, but Kelly steps up and punches him the fuck in the face and says to check her fingerprints like the boss bitch she is.
Woo! Best line ever in Motherland.
So there you have it. Kelly's back, and she's not taking any shit from anybody. Especially not Silver.
She did what we all wanted to do this whole time, which is deck that gross man.
Yep.
And she did it in style with her iconic lines. She's like, "Oh, you don't think it's me, Blanton?"
I love how she says Blanton.
Like she's implying, like, you don't think I wanted to slug you this whole fucking time? Have you not been paying attention, boy?
Mm-hmm.
I love it so much.
It's so good.
Okay, what is time in this episode?
There's no just don't. Just don't go there.
I can't. Yeah, doesn't matter. Whatever.
There's no concept of time. I just want you all to go with us on this ride.
Right.
We're in a time slip.
Right.
We just keep going into different time streams.
Yeah. Literally, this episode had ADHD.
They are me and Caitlin.
Right. Just, we're not even going to talk about it anymore. Just got to get that out of the way now. What saved it for me was just Kelly slugging Silver and then delivering those lines. Because I was like, I can suspend all of that because that was great.
Yep.
So thanks, Wade. So, all right. After Wade decks Silver gloriously, she then cleans up America and like gives a speech. So we cut to her giving a speech to the nation, all cleaned up. She looks much better. The marshal's looking fly next to her. M's there. Bear killer's next to her, and she's like addressing the nation. She's been reinstated as president, which, like, is that in the Constitution? I don't know if this is legal, but sure, she's president again, and gives credit to the Great River Nation, and because they were instrumental in like keeping her safe and getting her here and stuff. And it was like, listen, I promise America's going to give you more autonomy because America always keeps their promises. But whatever, good faith from Wade. Like, that made Thelma super happy, who's beside her. So like, Sessions going to get more independence, and you know, they win in this scenario. Wade also exonerates the Bellwether unit of all charges, and I guess Scylla by extension, who isn't in the unit, but like, sure. Which also, what were her crimes anyway? Doesn't matter. Then she like gets to the darker piece of it. She's like, look, I made all these good things happen, but I'm not the silver bullet, the golden ticket you guys all thought I was, because the Camarilla is here, and me being here doesn't eradicate them. So she calls them the rot in our society, which is exactly what it is. Like, again, they infiltrated the entirety of everything from like the ground up, grassroots movements with Not Our Daughters. They've infiltrated the government. Like, they are a rot in the society, and they're spreading misinformation designed to stoke fear against witches. And she's like, that's still here. Me being president doesn't get rid of that. That's beyond me. So it's gonna basically take all of us to like cure the nation, and it's not gonna be done overnight. Like, we gotta rebuild and heal kind of thing. But like, if we do it together, like, we will endure as a stronger, better nation kind of thing. Which, great political speech. We'll see how that works out because people suck. And while she's giving this big speech, like, there's like cutovers of like Petra arresting corrupt judges, and then Silver getting tossed in a high security jail cell where he belongs. So that's what's also happening at this time.
Listen, I'm glad. That's the big takeaway that I got was the satisfaction from seeing Blanton be put in the same cell that the unit plus Scylla was. Also, yes, can we go back to why they never ever actually address Scylla being there? Like, I know she
No.
kind of hides behind everyone in
Doesn't
the
make
thing.
sense.
Like, she's just
No.
there.
Why was
and
she there?
Included in the list of crimes
Right.
was she? That's why I asked, was she the terrorist that they aided and abetted?
I don't
They
know.
don't even address her crime of terrorism, which is the only reason that she should be there in the first place.
I literally think her only crime that these people know about, I don't think they know about her spree crimes. I think the only crime they have her on is like aiding and abetting these people, which is a crime because they're wanted by the nation. She was aiding and abetting them and helping them. But like,
I guess that's her crime, like, period.
But her trial should not be the same trial as them because their crimes are different than her. I don't know why she's in the trial. It doesn't make any sense.
I guess that, well, it makes sense to me that the Camarilla would just want to lump them all together.
I think for time reasons we had to do it this way, but like, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense in the logical way, but it makes sense in Motherland sense, I guess. The same way that we're just going to ignore the time.
Yep.
That's why she's hiding in the back, Caitlin says, because she's just there. At least they got her uniform right.
But also, why was she in a uniform? Because she wasn't even in the army. I don't get it.
I mean, she went AWOL.
This is a show. Like, this whole trial is just a show. That's all it is.
But she was actually never court-martialed, so she is in the army.
But I mean, wasn't she detained by the army and they signed paperwork to send her to another place? Like, is there not a trail?
She's still in the army, technically. Because
no, I know, but like, couldn't they have gotten her for whatever crimes Alder signed off on when she was going to the Caribbean?
Yes, they could have.
Because she's still wanted for those crimes by the military.
Absolutely. She still wanted those crimes, and that's why I was confused as to, like, I know why, but at the same time, I'm like, she should have a different trial.
Bigger problems now, okay?
I'm confused later in the episode when she's just, like, in a uniform free on campus. I'm like, don't we have to deal with her stuff in the military?
I think that they gave her a pardon off screen.
Sure. We could have had a throwaway line about that, because doesn't make sense.
You know what? They may have, and they just cut it out. Guess why?
Time.
Anyway.
Sure.
Yeah.
They cut it out so you talk more.
Pretty much. They know.
They know.
All right. Well, listen. As you referenced, we're back at Fort Salem, and the unit, Scylla and Anacostia, are walking around, and Anacostia is telling them that the marshal found out there was a traitor in the council. They had an accident on the way to the safe house, which we know about because one of his marshals died. Here's the question. When Anacostia says the bats found him, does she mean like the bats is in the helicopters or Nicta's bats?
Nicta's bats. Because later Wade thanks Nicta for like helping this situation.
Yes.
Yeah, she means the bats.
It was just funny because they call the helicopters bats. Yes.
The question is, how the fuck did they actually get out of there on time? You would need a helicopter. So, to transport them.
I think that both the bats and the bats were there.
Exactly.
There were two kinds of bats.
It's the bat team up.
Yeah. It's a bat copter instead of a Batmobile.
Exactly.
Nicta took off, but she'll be back later. We all know it. Team Bats, says Caitlin. Just say it out loud, Caitlin.
Well, okay then.
Well, say it! No, don't die.
He's dying.
Oh, we killed Caitlin.
Again. The Camarilla army has scattered back to their
hell.
real disgusting lives blending in. Hurst and Kara are at large because, of course, they are.
Right.
Caitlin's note on this was making fun of my note. She says, I would have thought Kara was a small, medium at most. And I said she's a large butt face. Which I felt was accurate.
Can't argue there.
So they're done with the rundown, and Anacostia asks Rayla about the wedding. Abigail says she's in charge, and this immediately reminded me of your fanfiction, Theora, because we all know Abigail's going to be your version, your Charvel.
Fuck yeah.
If you haven't read that fanfiction, you need to go do it immediately. Like, right this effing second, because everyone I know is obsessed with it.
I'll finish it someday.
For whom the bells of matrimony toll.
Yeah, bitch.
Go look it up.
Check it out.
Caitlin?
I made Bree confused. That was my line.
No, it's my line too, because I thought it like days and days, like when the episode first aired.
So did I.
So basically we had the same idea because we're the same damn person.
Well, yeah, but like, just because you get to go first doesn't mean you get the line.
No, it's my line.
This was like Caitlin's corner line. Preview, everyone. So what's the line? Tell the good people.
No, the line was that it reminds us of your fan fiction.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you guys.
Yeah, I mean, because it's the first thing in our head.
It is. I said, no, when I say everyone's obsessed with it, I really do mean everyone's obsessed with it, and they ask me about it sometimes. And then we all talk about it for about 20 minutes.
I don't know anyone else except you two, so.
I mean, I would let you into the smut coven, but I'm afraid for your soul.
It's okay. Never mind. I'll tell you later.
Okay. All right. So Abigail's in charge of the wedding, which scares me, and it should scare everyone.
Everyone, yeah.
Because she is afraid of whatever bizarre necro ceremony they would have had if they were left to their own devices. It would not have been a bizarre necro ceremony, first of all. Secondly, yeah. I love Scylla's face when she says that, because she actually does look a little offended.
Yeah, she should. Because it's her wedding. Who gives a fuck, Abigail? Like, if Scylla wants to have a necro wedding and Rael's cool with it, what does it fucking matter? It's their wedding. What is this line?
This has nothing to do with you. I understand that it's... Abigail's trying to be chummy here, and it just comes off as a bitchy for some reason. I know, it comes off as haughty and, like, controlling is what it comes off as. And,
yeah, it's Bridezilla energy for a wedding that isn't yours. Which it's like... Yeah. Did they hire you officially? Like...
Yeah, no, she just took over. We know that's what happened. Okay, I just want to say this right here. I like Abigail. I just have an issue with people who are controlling and haughty. And Theora does too. So when she acts like that, our hackles get raised, especially when it's just directed at a character that does not in any way, shape, or form deserve.
Yeah, exactly. Like it comes off as like she's trying to control their wedding, which it's like it's their wedding. Like if this was if off the bat, if this was the double wedding, and Abigail's like, "Listen, we're gonna do this my way. Are you cool with that?" And they're like, "Whatever, Abigail." Then it's fine. But it's like she's steamrolling their wedding, and she's not in the wedding yet, so it's like weirdly out of place.
Because, here's what I think would have happened if Rayla had gotten to control their wedding. They would have had it at the lighthouse after their sexcapades, and, well, no one was there for that. They just showed up the day of the wedding, and then a small gathering of family and friends.
Right, so that's what I mean, and like Scylla's face says it all, because like had they discussed this before, and they're like, "Sure, Abigail, you can do whatever you want," then this would be funny and not like controlling. But Scylla's face shows you that they did not discuss this, and Abigail just took over their wedding like out of nowhere. So it's weird. It's very weird. But like,
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it. And like the wedding is not a wedding Scylla and Rael would have in a mansion with like the president. Like it's the weirdest wedding I've ever seen.
And but, limos.
Like, right, it screams Abigail, like high Atlantic, like the culture neither of them are in. Like it's not culturally relevant to either Rael or Scylla. So it's like, did you talk to them about what they wanted? Of them. Right. It's like all of this wedding stuff feels very off. Like it feels like Abigail was the one getting married the whole time, and like Rael and Scylla are just there versus like they were the ones getting married and like Abigail tagged onto their wedding. Like it feels like it's the opposite, even though it's being presented to us this way. It's like, no. And that's not Abigail's fault, but like it kind of is the way it's being explained to us.
Mm-hmm. Is this just their way of having Abigail have her wedding because they knew that Abigail was going to have her wedding and just not explaining it correctly and just making them look like making her look like an asshole?
Right.
Here we are again.
Right. The writing of Abigail this season is wildly inconsistent. And I don't like it.
No.
This isn't Abigail's fault. This is the writers. I blame all of you. Yeah. Whatever.
I just want her to be season 2 / progressing Abigail.
Right. Not whatever this was. Yeah, I agree.
Season 2 Abigail would have let them have their wedding at the lighthouse and planned it for them there.
Yeah, exactly. Like at Unity Abigail would have done that. This is like like dictator Abigail, which
emphasis on the dick. So Rayla are going away for a few days to somewhere, and Anacostia asks where, and Scylla says somewhere perfect. Abigail's planning their wedding.
We lost your audio for like a few seconds.
Motherfucker. Yeah. All right.
You started talking about I think you were about to talk about Anacostia and then it cut off.
Yes. So Anacostia asks where they're going on their couple of days away, and Scylla says somewhere perfect. And I think they're looking, they hold each other all cute like and try to forget that Abigail's planning their wedding.
Yeah. I'll take that read.
I'm going to stare into your eyes so I don't have to think about what a disaster this is going to be.
Abigail probably picked out their clothes too.
Absolutely. That's why there are no pants.
That's why it doesn't look like either of them, like the actual wedding outfit.
Thank you. First of all, at least Rael gets that jacket, and I really think that, it seems like Abigail would do that to Scylla,
Yeah, to both of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Neither of those outfits screamed those characters.
Yeah.
This was Abigail. Oh, well. Okay. What's up?
Moving on. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Alrighty, so meanwhile at Fort Salem, Tally is off somewhere really beautiful on the grounds, like singing the First Seed song she's now the steward of. And while she's doing it, Adil finds her and comments that it's a very beautiful song, which, good, I'm glad the first song pieces are at least beautiful. We hope they work to save the world. Thanks, Adil. Tally is very frustrated at this point because she regrets giving up her sight because she feels like in this time of uncertainty with the trial and all that stuff, like her sight would have made her useful because she could see like when the camera is coming or like what's ahead, like all that kind of stuff. So she's feeling very like helpless and useless as like a member of Team Stop the Apocalypse, basically.
Team Stop the Apocalypse. That's my favorite.
And so, and what makes it worse is because they're in this lull of like, everything's great. We defeated the evil. Tally's like, great. Now I have this. I traded my gift for this song and now we may never need it. So like, what the fuck? She's having an identity crisis right now, basically. And this identity crisis gets broken up by Gregorio, who's back. Okay. And he hugs Tally, and they pick up from where they left off in season 2 with low-key flirting that happens. And Gregorio explains why he's been absent. Basically, he got captured by the Angry White Citizens Brigade pretty early on because he was associated with the Bellwether unit because he was in their coven. So they like detained him and they were questioning him and torturing him basically this whole time. And he like limps a little bit when he's walking over there, which they're witches. Can't we like fix these things? But sure. And he says, though, like, Tally's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, again, immediately feels guilty because it's Tally. Like, oh, that's because of me and my unit. I'm sorry. And Gregorio was like, nope. It was a badge of honor to, like, be associated with you guys and piss them off. So, Gregorio's a good guy. And then Tally's like, oh, hugs him, and it gets charged again. And then Adil awkwardly gets the fuck out of there. That's the scene.
As one would. So because of lack of availability, we didn't get the whole actual ramp up of Tally and Gregorio. So they just kind of picked it up, like you said, where they were. And now it's awkward. I don't mind it.
Eh. Jess has chemistry with everyone. It works.
Jess has chemistry with the grass that she's singing to. Let's be
and
honest.
Honestly, like, Gregorio kind of has chemistry with everyone. Like
that's true.
So, like, it kind of works either. It works.
It works either way.
Works either way. It's fine. Sure.
Praneet and Jess just talk to anything and have chemistry.
Yeah. No, seriously, they both do. They're very like bubbly and friendly. So
and
it works.
Beautiful.
Yeah. They are beautiful people.
Yes. All right. So guess where we're going? Oh my god. It's every Rayla shipper's dream. What'd you say?
The Cave of Wonders?
No.
The Lighthouse of Wonders.
No, we're not going to call it that because that's a Talder thing. We're going to call it Scylla's Lighthouse.
Yes.
Because that's what it is. All right, so this lighthouse is not abandoned in any way, shape, or form because there's like a fancy fireplace and maps stuck in a container and all sorts of niceness going on, candles everywhere because Scylla's there. There's a spree member there, so there's candles.
Exactly.
Slash necro lady. I'm convinced.
Yeah, that's the necro wedding. It just would have had a bunch of fucking candles.
Exactly. I think they got married themselves.
Oh, they pulled like a Jim and Pam from the office.
There you go. Exactly. So it's super nice inside. I want to live there, especially when the gay's all over. So yeah, it's Scylla's Lighthouse, which is a metaphor for Rael. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get sexy times, but only in the blink of an eye. So, like, I feel like they literally cut the scene right in the middle. Just like,
I mean, it's
that's enough.
What do you want?
That's enough. You blink and you miss the sexy times. / Scylla's wearing a fucking tank top.
Of course she is. It's cold in there.
It was like, y'all dumbass. They made it the color of the sheets to try to fool us? I don't know. Fuck you, Freeform. Here we are. Freeform was the wrong network for this show. Let's be real.
Let's not lie.
It's not lie at all. Okay, so over to the wedding after the blink and miss the sexy times. So they're both looking super cute, super gay, and they've got their boots on. I love the boots in this scene. I love Scylla's dress. It's got the tulle on the bottom and the cool belt, leather belt with the studs, so it's still Scylla. And then Amalia just looks really good in it. Her eyes are insane in this scene, especially. Raelle looks like Raelle, actually. like she's not gonna look like Raelle for very long, but here we are with that.
Yep.
I love that blazer they have her in. I feel like what happened here was Abigail went out and bought them designer clothes that she actually thought fit their personalities, so they would be fooled into thinking that their wedding clothes would also do the same.
Sure. Sure. Let's go with that.
Nicta approaches them and says what we're all thinking. I guess you're officially High Atlantics now. So you're associated with the Bellwethers, then you become High Atlantics, because that's just how it works, I guess. So Rayla hugged Nicta, who is very surprised by this, because nobody hugs Nicta. Who dares to hug Nicta? Guess what? They do.
I would dare to hug
I
Nicta.
would too. You would do more than that, but whatever.
Nicta needs a hug. I'm glad she got her hug.
I'm really glad too. This scene was super cute. I loved this. So they hug Nicta. She's surprised. They convince her to stay. Spoiler alert, it's not very hard. All they have to do is say, hey, you should stay. And she's like, nah, okay, fine. There's champagne. And then Scylla has to point out her damn lobster. Yes, there's lobster, Scylla. We know. It's a High Atlantic wedding.
Yep.
I love this callback, though.
Yes.
Scylla and her lobster.
I also love that, again, of all the friendships forged during season 3, Nicta and Scylla made a friendship, and here it is, coming to fruition. So that's really sweet.
It is
between the two of them. That's
I
why
feel
Nicta's
like here's my off-screen thing. I feel like Scylla and Raelle had an actual conversation about some things, and one of them was Scylla telling Raelle about Nicta, she and Nicta becoming friends.
Yeah.
So, and that's part of why Raelle's like, I'm gonna hug Nicta.
Well, also, even if they didn't have the conversation off screen, you're like, it's your wedding. You're so, elated and out of it during a wedding, you'll hug anybody. Because, you don't know what the fuck's going on. So,
except Blanton.
That. No, I mean, he would never get invited. But, it's just, your brain is not there when it's your wedding. So, Raelle's like, sure, let's hug. Happy times.
You're the only one that's married here, so we'll have to go with what you say.
Yeah. Wedding was a mess. It's all good.
Was it as big a mess as this?
No, small wedding, but I never told you this, but yeah, we got married in Italy, and the villa we rented, the day of the wedding, they were doing construction. This always happens. They're doing construction on the road, and there was no water. So it's like, cool, how am I going to get a shower and get ready for my own fucking wedding? But the water got fixed in time, but it was a hot mess. Shit always happens. It's just, your wedding is crazy.
Sounds super fun. I don't want to do it. So it's all right. We all know I'm going to end up on a porch with my sister and 3 cats. So, let's see. Where was I? Oh yeah, guess who shows up? Dad and Quinn. It's Edwin and Quinn. Oh my God, you did not just say that.
Galen.
She wishes. I don't care. That's what it means. So Edwin and Quinn show up looking fly, if I do say so. Yes. And they both, so first they do their hugs, and when Scylla greets Edwin, she greets him by name, and he tells her to enjoy it while she can, because in a couple of hours she has to start calling him Dad. And then Scylla gets all choked up because she never thought she'd have a family again.
I know, it's very
Now
sweet.
she has a dad.
I mean, she
I
did a
love
great
them so
job,
much.
like, making a family this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's becoming like legally official, which is cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just wish that she had less, her sister-in-law had less control over this situation.
We all do. But here we are.
Anyway. Back to Abigail.
Listen, Charvel would be the best bridesmaid ever. I'm just saying. She's efficient as fuck.
Yep. That's pretty much that whole scene.
Yep. So after that, we shoot over to Anacostia and Sterling at the wedding, who are having their own sweet little loving moment. That gets interrupted by Alder, who's out of the cave. Again, what is time? Alder's out of the cave. And it's the first time Anacostia has seen her, and it's like this very emotional, like, mother-daughter reunion that they have together. And Alder explains how. Well, how is because Kalita heard the song, I guess, because it's Kalita, and she literally moved a mountain to save Alder. And Kalita's with her, and she comments to Kalita, like, she just might be the most powerful witch ever, which we've been saying forever, so yes. And Kalita's like, yes, I am powerful. And then is like, I'm gonna go see my brother now, and literally fucks off and gets out of there. She super witch mic drops, because it's Kalita. And then we cut over to Adil. And so Adil is getting dressed with Gregorio. They're like dressing each other. It's cute. And they're reminiscing about the awkward dinner where I guess they kind of met each other or whatever at Abigail's house with all the dudes. And Gregorio's like, listen, I was never into Abigail. I was there because the Imperatrix basically forced me to go because of breeding and all that prejudice crap. I'm not into her. It's fine. I'm interested in Tally, and so I'm gonna go find her now. So he fucks off. And then Kalita returns and has a sweet reunion moment with Adil. There's mother tongue exchanged. Thank you, David and Jesse. And Kalita says she has something important to talk to him about. And Adil panics for a hot second because her sister just came back from the Mushroom Land and is like, crap, it's always bad news with Kalita. But Kalita smiles, so it's probably good news, which we find out in the next scene.
Yes. We do. Absolutely. Back to Abigail.
Yeah. I'm in all of your heads. It's Charvel.
Abigail is
in this scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really is. That's what it is like. I die every time. So Abigail has her seating chart out. Shake my head, edit, Charvel all over again. Rael and the crew walk in, and she jokes about additions to the guest list, which Abigail is like, I guess it's your wedding, so whatever. But when she turns around, hey, it's Kalita. So she's like, oh, okay, you were like playing funny on me. And she runs and hugs Kalita. They convince Abigail to get married. Why wait, I guess.
Apocalypse. Team Apocalypse.
Team Apocalypse. Okay, but Scylla makes a good point. Grab onto something real that's beautiful and true while you can. Basically, what this whole scene is about is their lives are absolute dumpster fires 24/7. They don't know what's going to come at them next. Who the fuck knows? So they need to seize the day while they can. Let's get married, everybody. Everybody get married while you can, because we may be dead tomorrow. It's like a Buffy situation. Seize the day, because tomorrow you could be dead.
Basically, yeah.
Yep. So here we go. Okay, Scylla, you convinced me. Shit is crazy.
My mic was muted.
Yeah, it was.
Everybody.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
No. Here comes the callback line to the title. Abigail says, "But I don't even have a dress." And then it's like, guess what? You need to go see your grandmama about that. So,
what was Grams up to? Love this woman. So Grams is inside the house with Abigail, and they're circling this white dress with pearls on it. And apparently, Minerva explains it's been in the Bellwether family as part of their history for like a long time, and it was made for Abigail. Which I don't get this because Charvel wore her uniform when she got married, but sure. Whatever. Moving on. Abigail's like, well, the dress is really beautiful, and Minerva drops this hint of something I think that's the bigger picture here. What Elliot's trying to get at is basically like a lot of the Bellwether family traditions or history has been erased or lost to time. So like a lot of what they know about their families and like witchhood has just been lost to time. So I think that's like the bigger message of what's trying to be conveyed here through these two, including like passing down wedding dresses or somebody making a wedding dress for somebody else, like the Bellwethers apparently do. So we don't know the full scope of witches, is what Elliot's getting at. And after that happens, we cut to a Talder scene outside where Alder is trying to like witch mic drop out of the wedding, but Tally stops her because she's like, "How dare you leave? What the fuck?" And Alder's like, "Listen, bitch, I got more important things to do than like, because like there's an apocalypse happening. Like I gotta go do stuff. I have to go to Africa and get the very last piece of the song. Like we're so close. I gotta get the last one." And then Tally vocalizes to Alder the thing that's been weighing on her this whole time, and she says, "Do you think there will be a chance I will that we may not even need the song that we're sacrificing everything to get, because that's what Tally's afraid of, that she made the wrong choice by giving up her sight for the song." And Alder reassures her in a way, but also is terrifyingly ominous by saying, "There's always a chance that we're going to need it, and this is and letting it go is a risk I'm not willing to take." Basically, like we need to have it rather than like let it go, because the Camarias existed for so fucking long. Alder's been battling them her whole life. Like she knows it's never quite over. And then thirsty Tally immediately proclaims like, "Oh, well, I'm coming with you, Alder. Obviously, if you're leaving to go to Africa, I'm going to go with you." But Alder turns this down. She's like, and it makes Tally insecure in this moment where she's like, "Wow, Alder doesn't want me to help her on this big mission. Like I must be useless now. Is this because I don't have my sight?" And Alder flips this around and she's like, "No, it has nothing to do with that. At this point, you have a much bigger role to play in like history." So I think hearing this from Alder really like assuages the doubt that that's been gnawing at her, that she's not useful anymore, that she did the wrong thing. And Alder basically says here, "No, you did. Like now you're even more important than you were before because you have this song. So you made the right decision." And she gives Tally advice, which is again the theme of this episode, like celebrate your loved ones while you can, because this might all change really soon. And then she witch strike Mike drops out of there for real, and Tally's like, "Okay," and spins on her heel and goes back to the party.
Talder. Bye. I mean, I guess that's the Talder in this episode. So, oh Tally, Tally.
Tally needed to hear that. Tally's been, doubting herself and her decisions. She got reassurance here that she needed.
Very much she needed to hear this because she's a little lost again. And Alder was the perfect person to talk over that with her because she is the one that's involved with the mother.
And she's somebody, again, that Tally this whole time has trusted despite all the bullshit and looks up to. So to hear it from Alder, like, means more than hearing it from a lot of people for Tally. So good for Tally.
Yep. All right. So the actual wedding ceremony is interesting. There's music playing, so we don't get to hear the vows. I think we were robbed. People have tried to read the lips. I'm sure someone got it right.
Oh my god,
I
this was
just
so
haven't.
dumb. Why this
Yeah,
choice
just
to be
why.
like, we don't need to hear this? Come on. There's so much like
All
weird
in-
time that just is wasted in this episode, and we could have at least had this, like them talking. Why
Yeah.
can't we ever talk to each other?
The only thing I got out of it is Scylla calling Rael her home. I mean, there you have it. Says it
That's
all.
something.
Yeah. What I do want to say that Rael looks super nervous walking down the aisle, and I think it's because all of the goddamn people there that she has no idea who they are. Like they're just staring at her. It's like because the first like 3 rows were people we knew, and then everything else was just like high Atlantic people. That
because Abigail did this for them.
Knows. Yes, obviously.
And also,
my note is, who the fuck are these people? Yeah, Rael. Yeah. Also, Rael's afraid of falling over.
Yeah, there's a lot going on that's not very Rael in this scene.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's cool to have the president officiate your wedding.
But also, why is the president initiating the wedding?
Sure,
when
okay,
did she
we'll go with it.
Off screen?
I guess to give it more, maybe that was her job in her civilian life. Who knows?
Pastor Wade. Who the fuck knows?
Pastor Wade. She seems like she'd be a great pastor, though.
I know.
Just saying. Anyway, yeah. So president officiating, music over the vows. Who the fuck knows what they said? Somebody does. Oh my god. Caitlyn's note. Caitlyn's note says Rael and Scylla had a fight off screen about pants. Rael won the argument, saying that Scylla knows she prefers her without pants. And her next note is, Tally is really cute and adorable. I love her face. We know. All right, yeah, that's pretty much it. Wedding vows we didn't get to hear. I mean, like, I kind of agree with what Caitlin just typed in the chat. I don't actually like the vow part, but in this situation, it would have been nice to hear them.
Yes, because we haven't heard them communicate really anything of substance. So it would have been nice to hear it. Also,
I want to hear why you guys want to get married.
You had them say lines, so like they said stuff. Why can't we hear it? Otherwise, just like don't even have this. Just like do quick cuts with no talking and just have them kiss and have it be over. But you showed us them saying stuff and denied us what they were saying. It's pretty fucked up.
I mean, the song was nice and all.
I don't give a shit about the song. Play the song at the reception.
Yeah.
I don't care. Not here. Whatever. Anyway, that's my grade.
Yeah.
Whatever. Speaking of the reception, so we go from there to the reception where everything's in full swing and everyone's dancing and having fun and people are all dancing together. It's super cute. And everyone's just having fun because this is the good times. We're here to have fun. And everyone's having fun, including Pastor Kelly, who's drinking champagne with the marshal and runs into Louise the cook from the session, who's not necessarily like grifting booze and food like it's her last meal.
I fucking love Nicta at the wedding. It's my favorite thing about the wedding.
Yeah, Nicta at the wedding is the best. She's just grifting, and I love it. And Kelly cuts the shit with her.
Scylla from the last wedding.
She's worse. Like, Scylla was being kind of cool about stuff. Nicta is, like, stealing people's drinks and then, like, behind the bar stealing like, she's just, like, wedding crashing. And she was invited. So, like, it's, like, weird. But I love it. Anyway, so, like, Kelly notices her and then calls her out for being Nicta and jumps into the what the fuck of it all. And basically is like, listen, thank you for helping me. Because Nicta's bats basically helped get her out of the frozen cabin in the woods. And she's like, I'm president again. Like, partially you're to thank for that. So, like, thank you. But also, like, you committed a fuckload of crimes, and I'm 1000% gonna prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. And no pardons for you, bitch. Which is rude, but whatever. And Nicta at this point in time has had like character development and has like accepted this situation and says like, listen, I'm not gonna run. Everything I did was to save witches. And at this point, the Camarilla are just killing witches all over the world. Like, take a look around. The world is burning. And I didn't like that match, but I also poured a bunch of fuel on it. So Nicta's like acknowledging the part she played in all of this. And it goes back to what she's been beating herself about this whole time. It started in the jail cell with Tally, or the jail cell where Albin kind of called her out, and like her conversation with Tally in season 2. And it's been weighing on Nicta basically this whole time. Is that guilt that like she wanted to help witches, but she actually ended up harming them with her methods that the Spree were doing by like doing quote unquote terrorist attacks. And so she's at this point, she's like, listen, I'm ready to own up for like the bad stuff that the Spree did because of me. And she gives one last plea to President Wade. She's like, hey, like if I'm going to go down, like at the very least, like promise me that you'll use my work to fight them, because that's really what Nicta wanted this whole time. And so like Wade kind of like considers this for like a half a second, and then that's it.
Listen. Just give Nicta a pardon.
I know, this is fucking stupid. You pardon Scylla, pardon Nicta.
I get that Nicta's crimes were on a very much more massive scale and for a very much longer period of time. 20 years, basically. But
I don't care, though. I don't care. Partner.
I don't think that the whole we're not pardoning Nicta thing will last, honestly.
We'll see.
Either Nicta's gonna go out in a blaze of glory, or they're gonna be like, yep, okay, fine, whatever.
I mean, I see where Wade's coming from, because at this point, like she said in her address, like me being president doesn't fix everything. There's still like Camarilla sympathizers that rot in the society. I can't just pardon Nicta, because then that will give them a reason to rise up against me, to be like, you know, she's saving dangerous witches. We were right. So politically, Wade can't pardon her.
Correct. Okay, let's go back to the wedding stuff / not really. Let's go back to the house. We'll put it that way. With Tally and Gregorio. So I didn't even make notes on this scene. I just kept Caitlin's.
What did Caitlin say?
Caitlin said Tally is magically into Gregorio. Creepy painting lady stares at them and is judging Gregorio. Tally wants to pretend she's with Alder, so she says, let her watch.
That's the best read of that.
I, however, do like Tally and Gregorio because they're adorable, and I want to hug them both and think they're super cute, and they bring that element of just adorable, you can't say no to sunshine, and them together is just, it makes me happy. So that's the problem, is I ship Tally with like everybody.
Literally, like Tally is the most shippable character in anything I've ever seen. Like you could literally ship Tally with.
I have to come in
anyone.
To this conversation.
Oh God,
Caitlin's here.
I ship Tally being happy.
Yeah,
me too.
Totally, and Tally's happy. Boom, there you go.
As long as the dimple is there, I'm good.
Thank you.
That's
all we want. See, and I think that Gregorio could definitely keep the dimple in town because he doesn't have like all the complications of Alder. He doesn't have like all of the assholiness of Garrett. I think this is a good fit for her. However, I wouldn't argue with, a different ship.
Again, Tally super shippable. Ship Tally with whoever the fuck you want. Happy Tally is a good thing.
Yep. That's what we get from this.
Boom.
We love Praneet.
We do. So, away from the creepy painting voyage thing that's going on
God damn,
in the house,
that painting was so creepy.
It was so creepy. So creepy. Like, Tally, you couldn't have picked a less creepy hallway. Whatever. Away from the creepy Voyager painting, we're in the party again. And Raelle and Edwin are finally having a conversation about Willa. Like, kind of, but finally. And basically, Raelle feels really guilty for not telling him because she knew all about all of this before he did and never told her. And Edwin just kind of brushes it off, like, like exactly what he kind of said in the other episode with Scylla, where he's like, I get it. Like, Raelle, my little baby girl's okay. Willa did some bad shit. Like, whatever. Like, ends justify the means. It's fine. But then from their conversation, we get the sense that, like, both of them are super not over this betrayal from Mama Collar, but Raelle is more like outwardly emotional about her frustration and her hurt and anger over this versus Edwin, who seems to be like compartmentalizing it and like suppressing it or keeping it bottled up. So they make this pact ultimately to like process this kind of together and in the end figure out a way to forgive Willa and like move on. Is basically the conversation.
Yeah.
Finally.
I like this conversation. Finally, we get a little bit of them. I liked seeing Raelle get a little mad about it because she never gets to be mad about it ever or talk about it or process it or anything.
I mean,
it's rude.
Yeah. I'm just mad she never got to talk to Willa about it. Like, Raelle was robbed of that the whole time, which is fucked up.
That's what she was doing off screen while she was in the mycelium. Mad?
I hope so.
Just kidding. No, she was asleep. Let's be real. Except for when Scylla was calling.
But at least we got the acknowledgement that, like, Scylla shouldn't have been the one to tell Edwin. It should have been Raelle.
Mm-hmm.
And Raelle's guilt about that because, yes.
Exactly. I wonder if they also talked about that during their lighthouse time. Who knows?
I feel like they talked about that before lighthouse time, but
listen,
I hope so.
Me and the writing crew are doing a challenge where we each write the lighthouse scene, but our version. So there's going to be 4 different versions of the lighthouse scene, and we're all going to publish them in one fic, basically.
Nice.
I'm going to publish them together so you can just read through and see the differences that we all come up with. Just FYI.
That's fun.
So
there you go, guys. What happened to the lighthouse scene? Bree and company will answer that for you.
Yes. Sometime soon. Coming to a AO3 near you. Yeah. I was happy with that scene, finally. It was my only notice. Finally!
Yeah.
In my head. That was
100%.
All right, let's go to the next painting. Because this episode has...
Or just jump in painting scenes for some reason.
Yeah. Just bookending Raelle and Edwin with paintings.
Yeah.
Abigail is staring at a painting of Jim Bellwether like she did when she was a kid. And she's like, is Jim finally answering me? Or is she talking through me? And I'm like, this is getting creepy. Yeah. We're now in possession land.
Again, I think this is Elliot trying to give hints about other shit.
Yes,
through these
it is.
characters.
Absolutely. So Minerva is there, and so is Petra, but Minerva leaves at Petra's request. And Abigail says, ever since she tried Jim's working, there's been something growing inside of her. And my first thought is it an alien?
I hope not.
Please tell me it's not a baby.
That's what I was afraid of.
But that's a long time for... No, it has to be your power, like the bellwether power thing we're having. That's going to go with the earth and sky stuff.
Oh yeah.
So she says it's like it kind of progresses. So at the airfield, in the session, and on the road, it was like little moments of it's progressing. And Petra says, yeah, no one has done that razor hail thing that you did, so that's new and cool.
Ooh.
And they go into something that I think is super important and also has a lot of layers to it. That so much of their history was stolen from them, so who knows what they're capable of.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And the reason... She's like, there has to be a reason the Camarilla hunted us, meaning the Bellwethers. And Petra says it's because they're afraid, and they have been since Jim crushed a Camarilla skull with a whisper. But through it all, it's like they can't take their work, because that's their true legacy. So it's a nice little scene with Petra and Abigail where you get some talk about the history of the Bellwethers and how that legacy is going to be carried on through Abigail I think in a different way than they ever thought it would be. So they thought Abigail would grow up, become an officer, lead just like any other Bellwethers did, like her mom, follow in the footsteps. But no, Abigail's gonna be another Jim Bellwether, but like new and improved.
I mean, remember Jem was the one that like went down fighting, saved this, made this one big victory possible. But also Jem was kind of known for just being a trailblazer.
Yep.
In general, and kind of changed military magic with what she was able to do. And they always said like, well, no one's seen a storm like Jem. So not only did she kind of like tap into magic no one had ever seen before, but it was not replicated really by anybody else. And so I thought that was really interesting that they kind of said that about Abigail here, basically with the hail she did, because it just seemed so natural what she was doing. And like, for all we know, that was the first time Abigail ever did that, and she just did it in that moment. So it's like this untapped potential essentially within Abigail. And I think that's her biggest attribute to everything. She has this, like, again, the name Abigail really means wisdom, and she has this like link to basically magic no one else has ever seen or could ever do before, and that's a form of knowledge in and of itself. And I think that's where her name really comes from here. And so I don't know, they told her up to be like this big leader all the time, but I feel like it's more like her capabilities that she can do, kind of like how Tally had the amazing sight. Abigail has this amazing weather work nobody else could ever do. And I think that's the thing that's going to make her like the leader, not her like leadership skills, because her leadership skills are not
lacking.
always the best. Yes, exactly. Trying to put that nicely. But so who knows, like perhaps in the next, in the finale, we will see more unique weather work from Abigail that will tip the scales and give us insight into what witches are really capable of, because we're seeing things from her no one has seen. And they keep harping about like this history and all this crap that's lost to time, and I think Abigail's like the vessel for us to kind of see that.
I agree. Also, I don't think Abigail really had Petra is an amazing leader, but I think that Abigail couldn't ever have the real leadership education that she needed to, because there's a big portion of leadership that comes with being humble. And Abigail, that's not really there's a humbling quality to leadership, because you have to do a lot of things that you wouldn't want to do, and it's not all about bossing people around or giving the rally speech or whatever. So I don't think I think Petra had obviously some development to do as well. So I think that they both kind of had a handicap in that they were always told they were going to be leaders and never taught how to be a leader.
Yeah, and honestly, the humbling piece you're talking about comes with experience. Like, you're not a humble leader off the bat. You're humbled a lot of the times by experience. And think about the unit, really. They were robbed of all of their army education. Like, their basic training was cut short because they need bodies. And then War College was derailed by the Camarilla. So really they're not really trained and they're thrown out in the real world. So you kind of can't blame Abigail for being not the best leader, because she never had leadership education like she was supposed to have through the army. So she's doing the best she can with her innate leadership skills, but she needs polishing, she needs experience. And so it's a young leader, Yeah.
Yeah. She just needed Scylla there to save her ass and put up with her bullshit.
Yep. I mean, because Scylla has experience. Scylla was in the spree. Scylla had to be independent pretty young as a Dodger. So she kind of has leadership experience, trial by fire stuff. So she's more equipped for these insane scenarios because she's been through them. Whereas Abigail has theoretically heard about them by hearing about tales of Jem, but she's never lived Jem's life. So it's one thing to know about it. It's another thing to do it and experience it and learn from that. So that's kind of the difference. That's why at this point, Scylla is a better leader, because she's had leadership experience versus Abigail really hasn't. She's had a handful of scenarios.
Scylla quietly led and put up with all this craziness. So there you have it. She did it. She did it for the crew and for Rio. So speaking of the crew, let's go to the
We're going to the high security prison. We're not going
sorry,
to the crew.
I wanted to skip that. So.
I understand. This will take 5 seconds. All right, so meanwhile, in the high security prison, guards are getting windstriked left and right. Why is that happening? It's because Albin and his goons are there to break out Silver, which they obviously do, because according to Albin, we have a lot to do. So confirming what Alder and Anacostia were on edge about this entire time, that this whole thing isn't over. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
That's it.
Blanton's out.
Shocking.
So abominable. Throw Blanton to the wolves.
Please.
I think if anybody needs to be stoned to death, it's Blanton.
I agree. No, he deserves worse than that.
That's true. I can't even think of what would be an appropriate punishment for him at this moment. So I'll just have to...
Rael doing the slowest witch bomb ever to kill him. Let the mushrooms eat him from the inside out, but really slowly.
Yeah, but start at the toes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Really, really slowly. From everywhere.
I like it.
Yep.
But Scylla gets to have a few whacks, too.
Sure. Whatever. But slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, she could kill him slowly.
For sure. Exactly. Let him have a go.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I think Scylla would be more interested in Hurst.
For sure.
Right. So let's go to the post-wedding campfire. I like this better than the wedding. Just me.
Yeah.
This would probably be my wedding. Let's just go have a bonfire. Yeah. I mean, that's just, we're not going to sing that, but because that just takes me back to freaking summer camp, and we're not going there. We're not going there. That's just memories I don't need to think about right now. No. Caitlin.
I was trying to get Caitlin to sing.
Caitlin, get off my scene.
I was giving Caitlin bait.
Oh, you left all my notes in for this scene. Wait for it.
Yeah, we'll get there. But here we go. Everyone's cheersing. Everybody's got beer. Scylla's drunk. I love drunk Scylla. Number one note. Tally has no sight. We're again, because Rael asks, did you see any of this coming? Har, har, har.
Tally
Did
wishes.
you know you were going to get with Gregorio? Abigail gets out Rael's guitar. Rael tries to say no, but Abigail and Scylla have apparently teamed up, which Rael's not cool with. She's like, it's not good. I'm like, you're right. It's not good. This is the only situation which will allow it in. So Rael says, like, it's my wedding. Isn't somebody supposed to sing to me? And then drunk Scylla does. Oh, does drunk Scylla sing-ish to Rael that she loves her? And then Rael stops her. I bet Amalia had a lot of fun with that.
I'm sure she did, because she can sing.
Because we know Amalia's a good singer, and yet she made herself sound terrible. I love that Ashley didn't know that Amalia was going to do that, and so her reaction is genuine. It wasn't scripted. She just did it.
That's so cute.
So everybody's reaction is yeah, that's so cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. Just big love thing about this scene. So Rael agrees, obviously, because she wants to stop the bad singing. And she sings a really sweet song to Scylla, who stares at her mesmerized. Everyone listens and is happy for 2 seconds. Don't worry, it's Motherland. It's only going to last that long. The 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. That's pretty much the scene. The song was really cute. Loved it. It was all drunk Scylla, blah, blah, blah. Now, down to Caitlin's notes, in my notes, because she does this every week. She gets into my notes and reads them and says things. But this week, I'm just reading her notes. So her notes on this scene are, Scylla pretends Abigail hasn't bullied her for 3 seasons. It's all buddy-buddy now.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Rael is guilt-tripped by everyone. And the switches into singing a song. I don't know what you mean there.
The switches also guilted her into singing the song.
Oh, yes, they did, actually. Everyone guilted her into singing to Scylla. Let's sit around the fire and sing our campfire song. And no, I'm not going. No, I don't.
Let's
you
sit
need
around the campfire and sing our campfire song.
No.
ICAMPFIRESONG song. It'll help if you just sing along. Bum, bum, bum. CAMPFIRESONG song. Hey, you're gonna cut me off at all.
Oh,
Scylla,
you're in charge, Caitlin. You keep forgetting this.
Her next note is Scylla sings the best song of the show.
I agree.
Tally is still using Gregorio as a warm body, but like, fine, I'll accept it. She deserves to be happy. Everyone is cold and tired and just wants to go home. I'm assuming you mean the actors.
Yeah, in real life.
You're right, because they did.
That was no. Oh my god, I worked at night before in the rain, and like that sucks.
Sounds miserable.
Cold in Vancouver, hanging out.
I feel bad for the PAs because they have it the worst. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
They don't get
They-
any comfort.
They got heaters for the actors and all that good shizzles. But yeah, listen, I would have killed to be on set that night myself. I will go through because I love cold. Listen, I was super happy in Alberta in the winter, so there you have it. Anything to say on that scene there, Theora?
Nope. Now we get to a scene.
A scene
Fort
that
Salem.
Theora has been avoiding.
I mean, chronologically,
I
it
love
made
that you
possible.
got this scene, though.
Huh?
I love that you got this scene. Why can't you hear me?
I can hear
I
you.
mean, I divided it so that I would get this scene.
But, like, my waveforms are so much smaller than yours.
Yours are. I always have to adjust your volume and
But I
lower our
don't
volumes.
understand.
Something about your mic. All right.
What about that? Wait, hold on. Did that... No, that helped nothing. Gosh darn it.
It feels like it helped a little bit, but I don't know.
I was trying to be professional. I failed.
We're not good at that.
It's all good. This is why no one pays us.
Yeah. Yet.
If you would like to support us, please go to anchor.com, anchor.fm/BWE. What is that little dot slash thingy? That little hyphen
A
thingy?
dash?
It's a dash?
Yeah.
And then that's a slash. Okay. So anchor.fm/BWE-pod. And support us and give us money so we can continue being weirdos for the
Also
whole world
subscribe to the YouTube channel because we need to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can get monetized.
Less than 600 left, and that's all we need to get monetized.
Cool. Can we move on to this really sad scene?
Sorry,
You
we're
want
holding
to?
you up. Go on, Theora.
Okay.
I need more
So-
water for this.
Back at Fort Salem. So while the wedding's happening, Fort Salem is not super guarded, as we find out from two guards that are at the entryway chatting about how everything's quiet now because the troops aren't back yet. So Petra's troops are still like making their way back from the session, and none of the officers are there because they're all at the fucking wedding. So there's literally nobody at Fort Salem. So what a great time for the Camarilla to like take over, which is exactly what they do. They manage to undo the wards guarding the base and they make their way down to the Necro Lab. And guess who's in the lab because she wasn't invited to the wedding? Izadora. So this is the second
Why was
time.
Izadora not invited?
Listen, this is the second time in 3 seasons Izadora wasn't invited to a bellwether wedding. Like, what
She
the
was.
fuck?
She was, but she wanted to protect her mycelium instead.
No. They don't invite Izadora to weddings. It's some kind of weird thing.
She
But-
got drunk that one time.
I wish. But, okay, so Izadora wasn't at the wedding, obviously, which means she was off screen doing stuff. So what was Izadora doing off screen this episode? I think she was a little sad because she didn't get invited to the wedding. Because why wouldn't she be? And so she had a little party with Penelope, who also wasn't invited to the wedding because she's like still evil and stuff. So she obviously couldn't leave. So I think the two of them like had their own little private party in the Necro Lab where they like put on the phonograph and Izadora baked a cake. So there was like dancing and cake eating. And I think Penelope ate a little bit too much sugar and it sent her into this like sugar rush where she like did witch plague stuff. And like Isadora's like, all right, we got to put the mittens back on and you got to go calm down in your cell. So she's in the cell now. And Izadora was just finished cleaning up the little party and all the remnants and put the cake away. And that's when the Camarilla showed up. So the Camarilla breaks into the lab, and then we get the most kick-ass fighting scene ever. Apparently, Combat Izadora in her white coat is a thing, and she like whips out her scourge and just starts like slaying bitches, and it's fucking amazing until it's not. Because unfortunately, our Necro Queen gets her throat slit with a knife by one of the Camarilla goons, and it's parallel callback to Isadora's healing lesson, where she's like, "Let me teach you linking," and then slices the cadet's throat. So, unfortunately, there's foreshadowing how Izadora was going to go down. And so, as she's like bleeding out, Albin creepily crouches over her and like rubs salt in the wound, where he's like, "Pity. I would have loved to talk to you about your work, because apparently you're quite extraordinary." And like, honestly, I would love for the two of them to have a conversation, because they're just like mad scientists, but like polar opposites of the spectrum. So listening to them debate about science would have been amazing, because they have very different views. So that would have been awesome. But we'll never get that because it's 2022. And Albin is like, whatever, she's going to die. And then looks over and finds Penelope. And he's like, well, that's weird. Cool. I found a prize. And what's interesting from this scene is that Penelope looks genuinely afraid of Albin, which Penelope the human wasn't. So now she's suddenly afraid of him. So we'll see if anything comes of that, because he obviously takes her. But last thing before he leaves, he goes into the mycelium room and says, "Hello, mother," which can't be good. And that's the scene. And so go
ahead.
I was just going to
I only have one.
Oh, go.
You conclude, because I only have one note.
No, say your note.
Fuck this scene.
Yes, and with that, we'll just give a short eulogy to Izadora, and like, if eulogy music is a thing, Caitlin, please put it in. But dearly beloved mushroom woman, I don't know if this is how you do eulogies, but you deserved better than this, because basically you single-handedly saved like witches so many fucking times on this show. And the fact that you got killed by well, we don't know that you're dead for sure, but you're definitely bleeding out. The fact that you got knifed by some dude is fucked up, and you deserved a blaze of glory death. So this does not do you justice, but we see you, girl. We appreciate you. That's why we talk about you in every episode. And you will forever be our Necro Queen, no matter what the fuck happens, and the best scientist ever on the show. This is like music, Caitlin.
What is this?
No, I'm gonna put in what's that military song they play at like military funerals?
Taps.
Yes.
It's called Taps.
Taps. We played that for my grandfather. Salute to you, Izadora. We will play Taps for you, because you deserve it. Went down fighting.
Okay. This is bullshit. That's all I have to say.
I'm so mad about this.
I'm mad at Albin. I'm mad at Bob. That's all. I don't like it.
Dude, it was like 5 against 1, and she was like holding him off for so long too.
She was.
It was. She took out 2, and then it was 3v1, and she had it for a minute until they got the jump on her.
So amazing. I love you, Izadora.
It's fucked up.
Back to the campfire.
Yep.
Alright, so
I'm
gonna fire myself in a second, because Izadora being dead is just taking the life out of me. Or not dead. We don't know if she's dead yet.
She's bleeding out. That's all we know.
Alright, so we hear some bats as in the helicopters, not Nicta's bats, overhead. And that gets everybody's like, what the heck's going on? Anacostia gets some fire speech that says Fort Salem has fallen. Rayo gets all glowy eyes and bloody mouth, and I've seen a lot of people speculating that it's the mycelium healing Izadora, or she's having Isadora's throat, the blood coming out of her mouth was like Isadora's bleeding out thing. And I'm like,
I'm pretty
I
sure
don't get
Albin
that.
is destroying the mycelium right now.
Yeah,
why he went in
exactly.
that
That's
room.
what I got from that. So I don't know what y'all talking about, but
It's
I don't
also
get
Rael's first kill audition that didn't go well because it got canceled.
it.
So there's that.
Exactly.
There's homophobia.
Tally tells everybody to back up because she's big scared of scary Rael. Caitlin's note is they realize they should have gone home because Rael turns into a vampire. Okay, I'm gonna say unpopular opinion. You ready? Scary Rael's kind of hot.
Okay, that's not super unpopular. My unpopular opinion, I didn't like the campfire scene. That's my unpopular opinion.
What was wrong with the campfires?
You guys both talked over each other.
Like the campfire song scene or the second campfire scene?
The song scene.
Why didn't you like it?
In my opinion, it wasted time because we only have so much time and we had to rush so many things in this episode. That time could have been used to like flesh out this episode. And because we had to like allot this time to this like singing stuff, it made the whole episode very clunky and feel very disjointed, and like it was very hard for me to like get into this episode at all because it was so disjointed. And I feel like a giant, and I'm like, why are we lingering on this campfire scene? Like, you only have so much time left. It felt like very fan servicey, which like people who like it, I'm not saying it's not fun and cute and fluffy. Like it is, but like it took me out of the episode, to be quite honest. That is my unpopular opinion. I understand it's unpopular. I also don't care. For me, it took me out of the episode.
I don't think it would have made the episode less disjointed. The whole thing was a hot mess, so I say give me the fuzzy while we can have it.
And that's totally fine.
Also the series is ending, so I guess they wanted to...
Yeah, like I get that.
Whatever.
They could have done it in After the Storm.
Yeah.
No. They needed it in the episode, apparently. Alright, so that's the end! Rael's a vampire.
Rael's a vampire.
This is the problem. The recap's gonna be something else.
Just don't do it.
I mean, I can do
just
it.
recap the entire
No, I'm gonna
episode.
go through it really fast.
Hold on. No, I just don't. I don't understand why you recap the entire episode and then recap it again.
Okay, listen. The point of the recap when we first started this was like to do like main takeaways of the episode because there's so much crap happening in the episodes. As like a recap, here's like the main things that happened. Like Wade is president again. Like just to like
just to remind you.
Yeah, that was the
illuminate the main points. So yeah, Wade's president again. Cameron get arrested. Rael and Scylla are getting married. Abigail's being bridezilla without being the bride at first. Oh yeah, they go on trial. It's dumb. Rael says some really inspiring things of stuff and things. Kelly punches Silver. We all wish we were Kelly. Let's see. Alder goes crazy in the Cave of Wonders, but gets out of the Cave of Wonders eventually. We get the montage of Petra cleaning up the justice system. Like I said, the Camarilla people get arrested, blah, 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 blah. Tally and Gregorio get together. I don't know if it's one night stand, if it's a long-lasting thing, but here we are. Scylla and Rael go to Scylla's lighthouse and have the sexy times for 1 second because it's freeform. Rael and her dad finally have a conversation about Willa. Abigail and Adil are talked into joining the whole wedding thing when Kalita shows up because Kalita went and found Alder in the Cave of Wonders. Abigail talks with her mom about how she feels something growing inside of her, and we all hope it's more
Magic.
really cool weather work instead of something else. Let's see. Nick is really funny at the wedding. It's really cute to see them have the greeting thing. Then sad things happen. Rail sings. We don't get to hear the vows. Rail sings to Scylla. Izadora dies. Let's not talk about it. And Albin ends up in the mycelium room. It's not a good thing.
Did you mention Rail's vampire?
Rail's a vampire.
That's it. Those are the main points.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I did, and go ahead, Caitlin. It's your corner.
Your corner, girl.
In my notes, it says that you're sick, tired, angry, stressed, and depressed.
Accurate. Because I wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna apologize right now because it's been a long, long week. And I'm not as chirpy as I usually am. I mean, I'm usually drunk, tired, but it's been a life. So I have my notebook flipped over the entire time, so I have not seen my notes since I wrote them. That was my goal. Every episode now. So okay, so the first thing on this page, oh, this isn't my notes. These are the questions for tomorrow. Because this is what I was doing at work instead of work. Sorry, Ryan's never gonna watch this. Danielle, don't tell him. Nah, it's alright. I don't really care. But the first, it doesn't really matter. So I don't understand. Okay, and then that's for another interview. Here's my notes. My head hurts. I want to go to sleep. Oh. I wrote these last night. And I said because we were sent a link.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I got distracted. Things of things in future podcasts. I know what I meant to say. I got distracted thinking of things in the future for the podcast. So I have no idea what happened in the beginning of the episode. And then okay, I wrote, "Is that good news?" The one day of firewood thing.
Yeah, it's really not.
It's really not.
Are they gonna turn into cannibals?
Listen, like, what would happen if they didn't get rescued so quickly? Cannibalism is definitely on the table. Who is going first? Who's eating who, Caitlin?
Oh, I mean, Wade is. I feel like the marshal's pretty down. So
yeah, he's getting eaten.
Yeah,
sure.
But then M is definitely next.
Yeah, so Wade will be the ultimate cannibal victor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, let's be real. You're right. You're right.
People need to stop hurting Tally. Because I'll hurt you. Oh, that was an old message. I got distracted. Are we surprised? That wasn't my notes. That was now. That was just to me. All right, my brain's stupid. So hard to have hope for the future.
Amen.
There's a song playing in my head. I'm sad. Accurate for now as well. I don't like them. I think this is talking about.
You think what?
I don't know. But the next...
I don't like them. Who could that be? Oh, is it the scene with the Laura Neal squad?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Lauderdale
yes,
Squad.
yes.
No one likes them. Good company.
Not even they like them.
Yeah, they hate each other. Like, they would cannibalize each other in a heartbeat if they could,
hmm
for funsies.
The next one is, do your chains hang low?
Are you referencing the TikTok?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I saw that once and I couldn't get out of my head.
Ashley.
And Taylor.
Yeah. No, Ashley also came on the Coven it's Abigail Appreciation Week, and she came on the Coven posts and figured out all of the puzzles herself and commented the answers.
She's like, this is way too easy.
For me.
Stop being mean to Tally. I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. You're gonna feel my wrath. I'm gonna die. Hold on. Sorry, I have a cough. Love that Scylla looks to Rael when the lady brings up Spree. Oh, okay. So Scylla wants to make sure that Rael's like what she thinks when she brings up the Spree because she still feels guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because they
This
never
really-
talked about it.
Yeah. This really is bullshit. Oh, okay. So this one is Taylor licks her lips a lot in monologues.
Yeah, she
ever
does.
since the beginning, and we saw that. And then Amalia does it too, but not as much. But they both do it. And I don't know. I just wanted to comment on that.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to watch.
Because now that's all I see.
Of course.
You go, Wade. Oh,
Yes.
haha. Okay, so good use of crossfade. Didn't like it at first. I was pissed the first time I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have a thing against crossfades.
I
'cause
know.
of my-
You've said it before on the podcast.
Everyone knows about my crossfade issue. But this time, I believe Wade was talking about justice and the bad people.
Yeah.
So they were cutting through, and it was showing the passage of time of these people getting taken into custody. So, I mean, there's still too many crossfades for my liking. I would prefer 0. But I understand at this point because
Time.
it's yeah, and it's I don't know what the word is, so I'm gonna skip it. It just says I love the army uniforms. Hi, Tracy. She watches the podcast.
Yes, she does.
Of course. Every episode.
I don't know how many she's gotten through, honestly, but
Of course, Abigail is taking over. Am I Abigail?
no. No.
When did Tally and Gregorio get so close? She was so excited to see. I mean, I get that she'd be excited to see him, but it. I don't know. I don't get it. Haha, Adil is a third wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Such a short lighthouse scene. Nikta is always surprised when people like her.
Yeah, it's so cute. Hey, can we cut the campfire scene and put more lighthouse?
Right. That's what I mean. Why was the campfire scene so long? You could have extended other scenes.
Okay, I'm with you now. Cut the campfire scene, more lighthouse, have them actually discuss shit. Okay, I'm good.
You.
Move on.
Yeah.
My head hurts. Going back to my first note. Next note says Quinn. Scylla has a dad with 3 exclamation points. That was page 1.
Probably also has a daddy. Sorry, never mind. That's Rael.
Sorry. I can't function. I like that we get to see Anacostia vulnerable. Anacostia has her mom! Exclamation point. Love the progress between Alder and Kalita. But I feel like Kalita hasn't smiled ever before. Has she?
Yeah.
Like
She has. Just not often. Often she has that neutral face.
Yeah. The wise
I'm always
Kalita
awake.
face.
I'm always awake until we get to the corner. I ship Adil and Gregorio.
We do too.
Same.
I love. Okay. Look, I put some slightly intelligent stuff in here. I love the shot with Kalita at the bottom of the frame because it shows how little she actually is. Because you forget how old she is, but with
Totally.
them putting her at the very bottom, you see how short and like how young she is. I love everyone's outfits, but especially Tally's.
Agreed.
Reminds me of Thee's story. Charvel. Africa? Tally definitely wants to go.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Home. I get to go home.
Of all of the places.
I know.
I mean,
They
they
probably
didn't say
did that
South
on
Africa.
purpose.
Yeah. But I mean, like, she really should have been able to go then. Alder is so cryptic this season. Like, she says nothing useful.
No.
Trust the
Literally
mother.
nothing.
Take a shot.
All right. So the next one is Pants' story. I get to explain Pants. Okay. I mean, we all figured it out by now, but there's a reasoning behind the pants, and I don't know if they've announced that. But I assume I can say it now. So Rael is wearing shorts. You can't tell. You really can't tell. It looks like she's not wearing anything. Could you see shorts?
No.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
All I
when
see
she's
is the
walking,
blazer.
when she's walking down the aisle, you can see like a little bit underneath the blazer when she's walking.
Well, the reasoning behind it is because Rael doesn't have the pants in the relationship. Scylla does. So they gave Rael the suit jacket, but then isn't Scylla in a dress?
I think they're like really
But she's
flowy leg,
pants.
like
Yeah.
pants. Yeah. Like really
Okay.
flowy pants.
Yeah, so, and then Scylla has the pants. So that's why it looks like Rael's not wearing pants.
There you have it.
Bree, I'm sorry, you say that so much. There you have it, and fair enough. I mean, I love you.
There you
I think
don't
I
have
forgave
it.
a lot. I love you. It's just, I feel like you're not. Wait, I don't want to say like why you say that. So.
No, now I want to know.
You say it when you're disinterested or like bored or you have no idea what to say.
No, I really don't, actually.
Like, I mean, usually, well, it's what your face looks like.
I'm just tired right now. What I usually say it for is because like somebody comes to the end of a thing and I'm like, and that's why. And here we are, and Bob's your uncle.
I just thought you just didn't know how to segue into things, and that was your solution.
No,
Okay.
that's just my.
Well, I'm not gonna just pick on you because Thea says 100% a lot, but it's okay because Danielle says it too. You guys will meet Danielle later, but like in a few weeks. Just keep that note. I'm out of it. You're sorry, Thea, when you're editing.
It's all
But
good.
I
You
have
can
to
blame a
edit.
former co-resident of mine who like would say it all the time in the residence room, and it just stuck forever.
But Danielle says it at work, so it's like having you at work with me. I mean, you guys really are at work with me because look, there's Bray, and then there's Thea, and I get to stare at them all day when we're not watching TV instead of working.
Your boss can never listen to this.
Oh no, he sees us. Our office, that's the merch
Oh,
room,
that's right.
is completely windows. I mean, you've seen it. I should put the hot diggity dog, the hot diggity video in here. She'll kill me. I don't know how I feel about the double wedding.
That's
I
fair.
Yeah.
Like, I hate double weddings, okay? Like, they did it with Barry and Iris and Oliver
Glee.
and oh yeah, that
Glee
too.
ruined it for me. The Santana, Brittany,
I-
and Kurt and
Yeah, that was really
Clean.
stupid.
It's
but
really bad.
I just saw that last August, so that wasn't on my mind at that time. I mean, I can't. What is time? But yeah, I just think it's stupid.
It feels
'Cause just give
gimmicky.
people their time.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of the complaints were, that Rael and Scylla deserve their own wedding. Like,
Right. Why couldn't Abigail and Adil just be like, we'll do it later?
and
Why do
have
they
their
have
own
to get
actual ceremony.
Yeah.
Like it was just Abigail and Adil's.
Yeah,
Like,
it's pretty
Rael
much
and
what it
Zilla
was.
would probably just elope
That is true.
and then go to the lighthouse.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I remember the second part to this one, but I didn't write it down because I couldn't put it into words, and I'm not going to be able to do it now, so it's going to sound weird, but I'm going to say it anyway. So the first part is Nikta is me at parties.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. Always around the food, but then I believe, does she have a scene with Tally at all?
No.
During
No. You were denied.
No, I swear she's with Tally at some point.
Maybe in the background, but they don't like have a conversation or anything we hear.
Okay, well, my second thought was something about dogs and Tally, so
Tally
That
is a
was-
golden retriever.
I mean, yeah, Tally is like the dog at parties, and I always like the dogs. Like that's where I spend my time.
Dogs and food.
Gotta
Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
dogs and food. That's all I need in my life, and you guys, because I really love you.
We love you too.
I love you too.
I think the audience knows that, but no, they don't get to this part. I'm gonna intro. No, they don't. I mean, some do, but
I tell people to just watch your corner.
I mean, I appreciate that. But the poll that we did, I was laughing my butt off.
I think a lot of people.
Yes,
Go
they
ahead.
did. But 2 people said that they did not want me in the podcast more. 6 people said, "Who is Caitlin?" So I just thought that was hilarious. That's why I added that option. And then, hold on, that was 6 out of 8. So 27 people said yes.
Majority rules, Caitlin.
Yeah.
Back here.
But this is humans, and we focus on the negative. I need more Tally in my life. Glad we get one explanation scene, and that's with Rael and her dad.
Yeah, agreed.
Growing inside of her?
No, the
that
word
line was that necessary?
I hate it.
We all went to the same place there. I mean, they have a baby line in there like 3 times in the beginning of the season. It's there for a reason. Like it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen
right?
in the finale, right?
Yeah. Like there's gonna be like some time jump, and they're going to announce a sequel, okay? And it's just gonna be all the kids in the future. Like, those like typical fan fiction things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, these are good ideas. Which is still illegal, but I don't think they actually did it. It says screw you, Silver and Hearst. Okay, how does she not notice her guitar laying there right next to her?
I just the scene. I can't with the scene. Thank you.
She was more focused on her wife.
It's literally right next
It's
to her.
right next to her. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
So is her wife.
I'm like, and how did they get it out there?
Thank you.
Because Rael's easily distracted.
I mean, okay, I guess Adil's there, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he could
Invisibility.
use the cloaking magic.
Sure.
You gotta give him something. You also have to give Adil something to do. So
Right. More than a doormat, he transports guitars.
and
Hides them.
Is forced into marriage.
I think he wanted it more than she did, actually.
I know, he's the baby crazy one.
Yeah, that's accurate. Okay. I love Scylla's song.
Yeah, I agree.
Tally needs to go to bed. I just at one point she looked really tired.
I think that was Jess.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, but like you jinxed it. They're probably talking about how good the world is.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was like, who jinxed what? Okay.
I don't know. Brie?
I don't know either.
All I can figure is that you're talking about, since you're at the campfire scene, it has to be something someone said, or it has to be the campfire scene itself jinxing the fact that shit's going to go down.
Yeah, I mean, it got to be something. Oh no, I remember what it is. It's the guards at the gate. Like they're like, it's all so
everything's quiet. Yeah.
I don't like this scene.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Now we know why her hair is down. Stunts.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because her hair was never really down, right?
Nope.
No.
She had a new hairstyle today.
The last ones. But like the next one is, would she really bleed like that? I think that was a question for you guys or Brie.
Yeah, if you cut her carotid.
Yeah.
Pretty much. He cut her carotid, and let me tell you, it takes you about 4 minutes to bleed out from your carotid.
Yeah. So this is actually pretty realistic.
Mm-hmm. There's a big artery.
Yeah. They don't die in like 3 seconds, which is what they normally show you on television. It takes longer than that.
It's like 4 minutes. Just like when you choke somebody out, it takes way longer.
Yeah.
Than it does to kill somebody by choking them.
And I like the touch, like, I mean, I don't love it, but the realism where when she's bleeding out after Albin goes away, like you see like the blood flowing differently as she's breathing, which is realistically what would happen, because as your heart rate starts getting more and more
fluctuating,
erratic, like, right, the blood flow is different. So like it would come out in spurts kind of, and like it was very realistic based on her distress.
It was. Believe me, the last time I got hit in the face by an arterial spurt, it was a fun time. Yeah, so that is, yours very correct. That is the realistic. It kind of spurts and then it fluctuates. Yeah. Anyway, moving on from blood talk.
My next one says Creepy Bob.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next one says Creepy Taylor.
That's booking. She's all the creepies.
And then, so I know this is usually when I teach you something. And
hell yeah.
At work, yeah, I have nothing to teach you. Just relax.
I'm leaving.
This is the second time she's left.
I'm sorry. I love you. Please don't leave me.
That's okay.
I was gonna go on a rant because I was really
Yes.
angry earlier this week. Oh, Thee really wants me to go on this rant. I was about to say that my head's not in it, but okay.
But
So-
you do whatever you feel is best.
Well, I mean, I'll start reading this. Like, because I started writing things, but then I kind of had a panic attack at work while I was reading because I was so angry. I told you it's been a rough week. Okay, mental health is real, and people need to talk about it because, like, everyone goes through it. Just saying. So I actually started writing it out because I started doing bullet points, but then I was like, I have too many thoughts. So here we go. So I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off with all of this, but part of the fandom already doesn't like me anyway. The amount of negativity on Twitter and social media in general is ridiculous. I was really pissed. I wish I wrote this whole thing out and then really thought. And don't come at me asking for proof of the negativity, since you only see people talking about the negativity, not actually being negative. You might want to check your own tweets just in case.
Damn, Caitlin!
Look in the mirror. Jeez.
I was so pissed this week. I understand people are upset by the lack of Rayla. We all know that there would have been more without the obstacles given to them. I can continue this rant because the next one is about Arlen and Candace. I mean, it's so exhausting by now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's very
Like,
exhausting.
The show is over. Deal with it. Move on with your life. It is what it is.
Yes.
I'm gonna piss people off, and like part of me is like, this is not good for our reputation and business going forward, and the other parts of me like, yeah, but they kind of need to hear it. I think this all started with Praneet, because that whole thing
That was absolutely unacceptable.
That was the first thing, and yeah, I'm getting angry now. People in general, there's so much negativity. I see tweets that people are like, this is the best fandom ever, and I'm just like, I see so much stuff, and you don't understand how much, like, there is another person on the other end. You're gonna affect them. They have feelings. And I was gonna go into this, and I'm gonna try and not be too emotional here. Okay. If you are easily triggered by things, jump forward like 30 seconds. So, I have gone through these messages from some switches. Like, not really bad, but that, like, affected me mentally to the point where I didn't want to live. So you really need to be careful with your words. Gosh damn it. It's okay. I'm fine. It's important to remember that these are people and that they can't control what their characters do. The writers did the best they could with what they were given. Oh my god. It's just the crew works so hard to make this, and every time that you ridicule it, and it's okay to have an opinion, but it's not okay to be like, they did this on purpose, like they don't care, because there was so much going against them, and it's not fair to them either. Like, they didn't want any of it to happen like that. And like, even just switches to each other, there's so much negativity. And like, can we just, at least for like one day, just go give someone a compliment, someone you don't even talk to, like someone that's just random, just go fill the Twitter timeline with love, because we all need it. Okay, the show is ending. You don't want to hear it. I know you don't. I'm sorry, I'm just crying right now. But we have to be kind to everyone because this is such a hard time right now. Whether it's the people working on the show, the people who've been invested in the show, there's no room for this negativity. I'm gonna try to stop crying now. I just really appreciate the people who work on this show and talking to them and everything they've shared with us. And me knowing what I know about this industry is just, I wish people understood, and that's why these crew interviews are so important, and I hope people watch them. Like, some of them don't do as well as the actors, but they really should, because just go watch them. If it doesn't make you appreciate what they do, then you just don't appreciate the art of media. That is my rant that I did not expect to go on. At least it wasn't an angry one, but I mean, I didn't expect to like cry.
Well, it was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you for speaking from the heart.
Thank you for saying it, because it needs to be said. And we are in a somewhat privileged position that we get to talk to these people and learn a lot of things that people in the fandom don't know. And so it gets really frustrating to sit here and watch these things happen on Twitter, because to run a podcast, you have to be on social media. You have to, interact with the fandom. And so when people are like, just don't look at it, you can't, because it's right there. It's part of our job as podcasters to look at these things and to see all of the social media and the interacting that's going on in the fandom. And Caitlin's right. When people say, come on and say, I don't see any negativity, just because it's not on the curated tweets that come on your timeline doesn't mean it's not out there and we haven't seen a lot of it, because we comb through more, or like, I know I comb through a lot more social media than you do in your daily life, like as just a person on Twitter, because we have to, or like, it's important to know everything that's going on. So yeah, we see the tweets, we see the posts, we hear about it from other switches. Like, we're in a lot of places and a lot of discords where we see a lot of stuff. So it's out there. Go be nice to somebody, like Caitlin said.
I mean, I've been trying to like kind of hide from it all this time, I guess. Not like hide from it, but just like kind of disassociate. But I mean, we all know that I was a part of an event, and just like when something happens at an event, don't go to the actor. Just don't. Like, they don't need to. Obviously, if no, I don't know when. Like, they can't do anything. Okay? So don't bother them with issues that they can't solve. It's just so many thoughts, so little time. I mean, we have all the time in the world technically, but the mental capacity is not there. So just be nice to each other. Can we do that? Can we do that, please? Please. I'm begging you.
This is Caitlin's challenge. Caitlin's challenge is be nice to another person.
Or don't say anything that is going, like she said, be careful with your words. If you see something you don't like on your timeline, you can have an opinion about it. You can tweet whatever you want, but please be mindful that other people see that and can be affected by it.
I want to see love on Twitter. And I want you guys to build each other up. And I mean, a lot of that, it does happen, okay? But unfortunately, we are humans, and the negativity affects us more than the positivity. Like, I know if I get told one thing, my whole day is ruined. And that's just how my brain works. And I hate it, but that's the human brain. And unfortunately, mental illness and like issues like that are becoming more common especially with everything going on now. And I think it's important that we talk about that because people don't like to.
Yeah.
But it's a real issue.
This is a huge issue.
I should probably stop talking or else I'll just talk forever.
Well, we like it.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's been a rough night. If you can't tell.
It's been a rough. I think all of us have had a rough week. To different extents and reasons.
Yeah.
So.
And like aside from us, we understand too that like this is an emotional time for everybody that's been invested with Motherland because season 3 is ending. Season 3 is the final season, and so coming to terms with that and processing it is not easy, and you're losing something you love. So it's a emotionally heightened time, and it's scary.
It's a mourning process.
Right, it's scary. It's the unknown, right? What happens after? Like we don't really know what's going to happen, and it could be bad, it could be good, but we don't know. And so it's very scary to be in that position, and in a few days we'll know. So in the meantime, while we still have the show, while we still have this, it's like our last run, like while it's still on air. So like spread positivity and like be the switches you say we are. Like show us. Like if we are the best fandom out there, like show it. Like elevate each other, like Caitlin's saying. It's Caitlin's challenge. Like elevate another person in the fandom. Elevate an actor. Elevate something. Like if we are a good community, like be it. Do it. Don't just say it.
Elevate a crew member.
Yeah. They're people.
Yeah.
They're people. Like,
and not just like the big crew members. Like I want everyone to go on IMDb. Pick a random crew member. Find them on social media. Do not stalk them, please. Please, they're just,
no, we're not saying that. Don't do that.
Just be nice. No, just like you can like just stay in a nice little tweet about what they do if you know what they do. I mean, okay, I guess that's kind of
just be like, thank you for working on Motherland and making it great. That's it. Just generic.
Yeah, that's all you need to do.
That's all you need to do.
Thank them. And then we'll probably interview them at some point. You'll actually get to know what they do. Speaking of which, we're working very hard to bring you enough content to hopefully bridge the emotional gap that will happen after next week.
And we're exhausted.
It's part of our exhaustion.
We're not even in the marathon yet. We have like 6 interviews this week.
Don't remind me.
I know.
Well, I mean, I have like an extra filming night because we're bringing you an extra special video that Bree and Theora aren't in, but they're excited for.
I'm way excited for this.
I've been preparing for this. That I'm dealing with sound issues right now, but spent enough money to try and fix it. But yeah, so I'm excited for what's coming forward. We'll end on a positive note.
Yeah, spread positivity. Positive things are coming. Go thank a crew
Sorry
member.
to be a bummer this episode.
But also, we'll do it ourselves.
Yes, we will do it too. But also, the episode ended with vampire rail. So,
I mean, how much more? And Albin injuring the mother. So listen, we're in
what the fuck, man?
We're in a bad place anyway, so we might as well talk about the big giant elephant in the room, in the Twitter space, if you will.
But
that's another thing I say too much.
We can also not talk about that and talk about who our Big Witch Energy Award winners are, because that's positive. We can. Who wants to go first?
Yes. Not me.
Hold on. Can we take a moment of silence?
For Izadora?
Yeah, sure. But meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out who I give my award to.
Oh, yeah.
All right. What happened this episode? I have no idea. We just recapped the entire thing, right?
Caitlin, we recapped it, then you complained that we were recapping the recap. And you still don't know what happened. So we're not doing a very good job. This podcast.
When in doubt. Oh, you know what? Oh, wait. I think part of me feels like I was going to give it to the painting, watching them.
Okay, yeah, that's it. That's it. The creepy painting that watched Tally.
When in doubt, I go with Tally. But I think it might be Tally. Tally. You know what? Yeah, it's always Tally in my brain. So yeah, Tally. I don't remember what happened, guys. I don't really know.
It's all good. Tally's a safe bet.
Usually, yes.
Maybe I'll agree with you. What? I mean, Bree told me you don't get to know.
I don't get to know?
No,
I don't get to know.
She always looks at my notes, like I said, which is what she types in there. So she comments on my choice, and because sometimes what'll happen
every
is
time
I will put my choice, and then throughout us discussing the episode, it changes.
Yeah, fair. So
anyway, Izadora.
Me too.
Me too.
Because she was the last stand at Fort Salem.
She was the only one there, and she did the best she damn well could.
Yeah, she did.
She fought those assholes off.
She did.
She did really well.
She did. It was 5 against 1. All
right.
And she took out 2 and fell to the last handful. So she went down swinging and fighting, and Izadora had the biggest witch energy of anyone, because like that was a fucking suicide mission, and she did it to try and help Penelope, because like the thing that triggered her is she saw how scared Penelope was, and she's like, fuck this, and then went out there. So Izadora Mushroom, because I don't know your last name, but you know what, you're the best, and we love you, and you have the most big wish energy.
We'll know. We'll know. We'll get back to you on Isadora's last name.
And yes, and the Laura Neal Award winner for me is the little bitch that slashed Isadora's throat, because fuck you, man.
I just said all the Camarilla assholes.
I'm sorry, I was in the middle.
Actually, no, I give it to the prosecutor.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Fuck that bitch.
I'm used to it by now, Brie. Just because you have a better mic than me.
It's the same mic.
I don't
get it.
Is all the way up. No, I can't breathe. I was trying to find the stunt performer, but I can't do it really this quickly because they're not credited, because they don't do a great job crediting people
in the industry.
That's another story. That's another rant. Let's not make me angry. Who's my award go to? It does not go to Gregorio.
No.
Like other people probably would choose, but like he is not evil. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. He would treat her right. He would. Okay. All right. And then let's be real. Like she'll just see Alder on the side.
Yeah. She literally tried to run away with Alder like this episode.
Like she's like, oh yeah, I was with him.
Right.
I can't have Alder, so I guess I'll just all right, let's go
exactly.
In the corner. Like she saw Alder across the way and she's like, oh, Gregorio, let's go.
Right, exactly. That's what that was. Alder standing.
Lara Neal. Bree, you said yours already. Damn it, I have to figure this out. All right. The chains. Oh man, my battery's low.
I wonder what's gonna happen if I bet Caitlin. All right, so the finale. What's going on there?
Listen, what's going on in the finale? Let me tell you.
Who the hell knows?
They're going to Fort Salem to fight. Rael's face gonna be getting even crazier. Where the fuck's Scylla? Like, you see them when they're at the point in that big cave thing or whatever where they're like, hey, Tally's like, this is what I saw in my vision. I'm like, where's Scylla?
Scylla was with Rael, and weren't they like, there's like shots of them, like Scylla and Rael are like together holding hands or something, and then like Adil and Abigail are like kind of together.
Did I just miss her in there?
I don't know if it was it. I didn't see the trailer, but I saw it via social media. Yeah, Scylla's,
I need to go back
next
and
to Rael. They're
super
all
watch it again.
They're all in army uniforms, like every single one of
Yeah.
them, including Adil.
I just felt like I didn't see her in that very last shot from above.
Yeah, she's there. She's next to Rael.
I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. Oh, actually, I have it up in a tab.
So yeah, it's the final battle, and will the mycelium like witch bomb destroy the world? Yes, no. Can Tally intervene on her vision without her sight? Will we ever get the first song?
You're right. She's right there, but why do I feel like somebody's missing?
Where's Kalita?
Yeah.
Also, we saw in After the Storm stuff with Alder, she definitely makes it to some part of Africa. I forget where it is. I said it
South.
many moons ago. No, I don't think that's where she is.
Oh.
There's like a country flag in one of the photos. I just can't remember which one it is.
Kenya.
I don't remember.
Ew. I don't like Adil in an army uniform.
Me neither. But Alder's like
Adil's
going
in an
through this
army
like
uniform?
bizarre place looking for the witch, but so she definitely makes it over there.
Well, I guess we'll just have to watch and see.
Yeah, so prepare yourselves for the final episode.
We got an email. That's why I'm laughing. Just so like the people know why I'm laughing. It's just what it said. It's just 2 words. It's nothing major.
Yeah, but I like seeing when you laugh at things.
It's my I just thought of a Big Mac, okay?
Alright, so
that was cute.
Everyone get your food and your snack of preference and get ready for the final episode of Motherland, guys. It spread some positivity out there.
Just
and gay it up all over the place.
Gay it up all over the place. All right.
Big gay energy is coming for you.
Oh, it sure is.
In 2 weeks.
All right, everyone.
Stay gay.
Stay.
Hydrate for lesbian Jesus. Stay gay and be positive on the social medias.
Yeah, and thank a crew member.
Thank a crew member.
Hug a crew member. I'll hug Keenan.
Bye.
Bye.
I want to hug Keenan.
Me too.
And Michelle. And
Yes.
and Danielle and Amber and Ron. I mean,
And with that, we've been Big Witch Energy. If you like this episode, check out all of our other episodes right here on YouTube. Please like, comment below, and subscribe for more amazing content. Hydrate for lesbian Jesus.